Okay, we're officially started. Sorry about that. The cameras were just. Oh my god, that was a nightmare setting that all up.
Kept falling.
But we're here. We're here. We made it. Slowly but surely, we made it. So we're all good. We're all good to go. Is your mic ready?
Yeah, it's all good. I was
Good.
thinking I might put it on my shirt.
Was
if I
it
want to
weird
take
not
this
being
off.
here for last week or not?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because I didn't get to listen to it because I was busy, so I don't know what went on. But
It was good. We had my friend later on. Do you know what? We didn't really speak about
oh
sport.
yeah, because
She
really
doesn't.
watch
She doesn't
sports.
watch sports.
Yeah, because I always wonder what the show is like
It was
it's not
good. It
really
was just
sport
like it
related.
was just kind of like a chat, to be honest, because we didn't talk about sports, which is obviously I don't mind. I mean, I prefer to talk about sports because it's easier. But like we were just chatting. But funnily enough, we did speak about sports and fighting a bit at the end because her boyfriend Jack is actually like an amateur K1 fighter, like a kickboxer.
Yeah.
So we spoke. I mean, she doesn't really know anything about fighting, but yeah, we talked about that for a bit. I actually went to one of his fights a few months ago. But yeah, it was good. But it's just annoying. Funnily enough, it's kind of good that we had all the problems with the cameras and the tripods because basically I've been having just technical difficulties because I've been filming the last few weeks every Friday, and what's been going wrong is my laptop is quite old and I can't put the 2 hour videos together because one, it's just too slow and the files are just too big, so I can't export it. So Dad gave me his old laptop ages ago. I had to go to Apple Store to unlock it, like, because I wiped the laptop. But it's not the same as iPhones where you wipe the phone and give it to somebody and then start again. It basically reboots the whole thing. I had to take it to Apple a few times. They gave it back to me. I was like, okay, great. I can start editing last week's one that I did with my friend Layla, and then tried that. But then the iMovie is not up to date with how old, because that's old, not too old as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my god. Then I rang up this Apple guy, like this Apple support. They basically helped me reinstall the whole software, install an old version, and now I can start editing. So finally, fingers crossed, touch wood, I can start filming these. Like we've got the cameras now, and then start putting them out there, like on YouTube and stuff. And I can ask, because what's annoying is I want to start filming it like this, like we have been, but putting it out there. Even I don't care if nobody sees it. Obviously, it'd be good if people did see it, but when I'm able to sort of start putting it out there, I can sort of show it to people and be like, oh, do you want to come on, sort of thing. Just get people on who I don't really know that well, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Because if I just ask them to come on, I'm sure some people would say yes, but they don't really have anything to reference it to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, me and Ben didn't, so.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. You want to start getting guests on here, interesting people.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. It's all been good though, but. It's all been good, and then it's just annoying. Like it's just the stress of setting it all up at the beginning. It's more the mics because they're a bit funny to set up, and then what I've noticed, like last week, because usually I have my iPhone here, I do it on two iPhones that I film it on. The first iPhone to my left is like a newer phone, so you can zoom out. With that old iPhone 6, you can't zoom out.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I've
can't
got
do
to
the
put it so
0.5,
far away.
yeah.
So I've got to find like the perfect angle. Oh, it's just a nightmare. So yeah, we're gonna see how this one goes, and just go from there.
Cool. So for this week,
Yeah, I know. It feels like obviously you haven't been here. Obviously you weren't here last week. So it's been 2 weeks, but since then we've had like Champions League, UFC. Oh, what else have we had in the last since you were last here?
I think. I mean, this doesn't really mean much anymore. But Liverpool Spurs game was good, but obviously they're not really fighting for it anymore.
Was that even on TV?
I don't think it was.
No, well, it might have been, but I was at Wembley, so.
Yeah, I mean we've had a couple playoffs start.
Yep, thingy are in the fight. I know. Well, the Championship playoffs start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I know the League One playoff is not done, but the final is already, so that's all sorted. And then League Two, I'm guessing, will be next, and then it goes League One, and then obviously Championship. So the playoff, I actually love the playoffs. They're always really good.
They always mean so much. It's like watching international football because
It's all about, yeah.
I mean, it's all about next year. I mean,
Yeah.
thinking about how much more money a club gets for being in the next league, and just how much better it is for like the area and how much it means to the fans. It is such a big thing. It's like the stakes are massive.
It is, yeah, and obviously I think if you look at the four teams that are in the playoffs this year in the Championship, they're all clubs that are pretty much usually in the Premier League. So it's like Leeds who have been in the Premier League for the last few years.
Yeah.
Norwich, who are always up and down. West
Yeah.
Brom, who are always up and down.
Yeah.
Who's the last team?
Um,
I know Hull didn't quite make it.
Oh, they
finished
didn't get it
seventh.
in the end.
It's a team that's usually in like the Premier League / playoffs, like challenging at the top. I'm trying to think who's usually sort of in that mix. It's usually like
I actually cannot remember. I'm drawing
West
blank.
Brom. I know West
Brom you already
Brom,
said.
Norwich, Leeds. I want to say. I know Ipswich went up. Leicester went up already. I don't know who the other teams are.
Let's see. There should be one other team.
Yeah, there's one other team.
You're gonna kick yourself. Southampton.
Southampton, yeah, they were literally in the Premier League last year. But I never would have guessed that though. But it's annoying because I kind of like when there's teams that aren't always there.
Yeah, I mean it's more interesting when obviously
Someone else.
The same teams coming up and down. It's a bit boring just because they kind of like obviously the gap between the Prem and Championship is massive. I mean, we've seen that with how dominant Burnley were and how they are cheeks in the Prem. Well, not like they've shown some.
They've
good
done,
football,
they haven't been great.
And it's a shame when, obviously with money and whatnot, the Premier League just gets further and further.
No, but the thing is though, I don't think that's always the case because I know probably this year, the 3 teams that went up are probably going to go down. But then you look at, say, Forest, who went up last season.
Or even Fulham.
Yeah, but Fulham are kind of like a proper Premier League club. I mean, I know they go down and up sometimes, but they're too good for the Championship. Like they're never in the Championship very long.
Oh yeah, Mitrovic had like 40 goals. Didn't he?
Sorry?
Mitrovic had like 40 goals.
Yeah, but I just mean in general. Like sometimes they'll go down occasionally, but they always come. They're too big for they're a Premier League club.
They are. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it is nice when teams come up and they stay up. I always wanted at least one team to sort of stay up. Like it would have been nice if Luton stayed up or Burnley or whoever, but. Yeah, I mean, it'll be like, for example, I don't expect Leicester to go back down next year, sort of thing. Because they're a Premier League team.
Yeah,
as well.
but then again, I mean,
Their team's too good. Really. They shouldn't have went down in the first place.
it's crazy how they went down with Maddison as well.
Well, yeah, and Vardy and Ndidi, like they've still kept a lot. I know they sold Maddison this year, but they went down with like Ndidi, Vardy. They had some other good
Isn't
players.
it crazy, like winning and then going down within
And they
7
won.
years?
They won like the FA Cup 2 years before that as well.
Obviously, I know they weren't challenging when they won it. It's not like they were a team where every year they were challenging for it. Like for example, if Arsenal were to win it in the next 5 years, it's like you can say they were fighting for it. They were up there, and then they eventually won it. Whereas with Leicester, they weren't great, and then they won. I remember the last few games of the 2015 season, they started winning a lot, but it didn't mean much. So it was literally just.
Did they? I thought they just about stayed up in that.
No, like I remember it was like the last 4 or 5 games or something like that where they had had a really good run of results, and then the season when they won the league, they. I
remember the season that they were in.
It's basically what I'm saying. They went from 0 to 100.
Because I remember in the first season they stayed up, like their first season in the Premier League, they didn't get like. Oh, they didn't survive on the last day, but they had like some good results at the start. I remember they beat Man United 4-2. They drew with Liverpool. They had some good results in that first season. They had like Cambiasso. I remember they had like some good results. I can't remember who their manager was. Oh, it was Nigel Pearson. That's
was that before they got thingy in?
It was a year before they won the league. They sacked Pearson and then they got Ranieri and then they won the league. But yeah.
Let me just see if I can find any Leicester fixtures. But yeah, carry on.
For what? Leicester fixtures for what?
Oh yes, so last day of the season they won 5-1.
Well, in the Premier League?
So this is the year before they won the league.
Oh, in the 14-15 season?
Yeah. And so they had a draw to. Oh yes.
They drew with Liverpool at Anfield. I remember that on New Year's Day.
Just looking at.
But they were safe quite comfortably.
Beat Southampton. Yeah, so like they're winning. Beat Newcastle 3-0, and then they lost to Chelsea. So like they had a good few games, but then obviously the year after that they just went nuts. Vardy just had the most purpleless patch of all time. Well, it's not even a purple
I wouldn't
patch.
say
Like,
that.
He was just the top. Yeah. He's just the top striker, but like
they had like
Mahrez, Kante, Okazaki.
Yeah.
These guys that made it happen. Drinkwater was good.
Drinkwater was there. Obviously Schmeichel's always been there. Danny Simpson was good. Christian Fuchs was. Or was Fuchs there? I can't remember. He might have been. He was a left back. But they had a lot of players that were just like on top.
Who ended up having
form,
great careers.
Yeah. It was insane. Really, it really was. I was so happy when they did win it though. And the thing is, I actually never thought they would win it until they went to Man City away, They went to the Etihad, and they won 3-0. And this was in like February. I still didn't think they'd win it, but I was like, wow, that was a massive result. It was massive. It really was.
To go from winning it to going down within, 7 years, it's just nuts, isn't it?
It is insane, yeah.
Like, I wonder how that happens, you know what I mean?
To be honest, they never should have went, like last season, they had a very strange season. I mean, that should have never really have happened. Not to make excuses for them, but obviously if you go down, you go down, you deserve to go down. But it was just strange to see, kind of thing. I never would have expected them to go down. But yeah, when they go up, I think they are up, but I think next year they'll have a good year. Yeah, because it kind of looks like that the bottom three, who are, ironically enough, were the three that came up, looks like they're going to go straight back down.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
And you know what, actually, if it wasn't for the points deduction, this would have been decided a while ago, because...
Everton, yeah.
No, not even Everton, it's Forest, because Forest are just above the relegation.
Yeah.
But it could still happen. If Burnley was to get like a point against Tottenham tomorrow, which is actually, I'm going to that game, if they was to get like a point, let's just say, and I think Forest still got to play Man City on the last day, and let's just say Forest lose their last game, it could go down to, you never know, Burnley could get like another point, like they could get another draw or a win and they could actually stay up. So it's actually not over, but on the balance of probability, it probably is over.
But the gap between it's crazy, just because, I mean...
Between Forest and Burnley?
No, like between, Championship sides and Prem sides, I mean...
Yeah.
That's probably at least as far as in my memory, I can think of not worst, just the hardest teams who have come up have had it like where the three teams that come up,
it's never
all
usually
probably went down and all just had it. So
because I remember like a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, when Sheffield United come up and they done brilliantly. They were like top half, I think. They were not top half. They might have been like 12th. They had a very good year, but then the next year they were just poor, kind of thing. And then they come back up this year. They've been pretty rubbish, to be honest. They've been quite disappointing. So I'm hoping next year the teams will be a bit better, because obviously Leicester are a good team. Well, the thing is, Ipswich are up. They're in the Premier League, but last year they were in League One. They've come straight back up. So I don't know how they're going to do, because I just feel like they're probably not quite good enough for the Premier League, but you just never know.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's going to be good. What did you think of the Champions League, both games?
We'll start with Dortmund PSG. I think this has sparked a crazy amount of conversation about Mbappe and comparing him to other people. How good is he really? And I think people, I mean, it's for people that watch sports in general are temperamental. Whatever's happening today, which I think is fairly relevant, you should always judge someone based on what they last did. Fair enough, but people are so quick to suddenly be like, man, you know what, Mbappe ain't even all that. Vinicius is better than him. This guy's.
I think Vinicius is better than him.
I don't think he is. But
right now,
what I'm saying is,
right now he is.
I feel like it was widely accepted that Mbappe is the best player in the world. Yeah, and then like he goes in 2 legs. Now he's not as good.
I wouldn't say widely accepted. I think if you said he's the best, I wouldn't really argue with you. But I wouldn't say it's like clear. It's not like.
I would have said it was.
No, because I wouldn't say so. Because when you look at, say, and I'm not comparing it to these two, but you know, like when Messi or Ronaldo were the best, you knew they were definitively. To be honest, for me, they're just as good as each other, Messi and Ronaldo. But at the time, you knew it was definitely one of those two, and whoever was third, say the third best player in the world, there was a massive gap.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I wouldn't.
Oh, there's not. Yeah, the gap's.
I wouldn't be like. Big. Let's just say you said Messi. You say Mbappe is the best. I think right now, Vinicius is the best. It's debatable. Or even who's the third best player in the world? Would you say?
That's where like a De Bruyne
or Haaland. I wouldn't say there's really any difference between any of those.
That's what I mean. It's like that's why
I wouldn't say Mbappe is clearly the best player in the world.
We were saying this on one of the shows before, where I mean, it wasn't so much of a conversation about who's the absolute top, like typically top best. It was more about the distribution of like world class players. Yeah. Whereas before. I mean, it was actually what we're saying now, where we had like a gap of who was the absolute best,
right?
And then the next handful of great players were, I feel like back then, a little bit better than the sort of second tier are now, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like the players that are being sort of getting these sort of world class shots, like I know it's silly, but people were saying like Jude Bellingham was world class, whereas I feel like maybe like 10, 15 years ago, I don't like even like some people think he's the best player in the world. Like he's gonna get a Ballon d'Or and all that.
But he might get a Ballon d'Or.
But I don't think he like think about how good you had to be to not win a Ballon d'Or 10 years
but
ago.
not,
I know that's
not necessarily because like
Ronaldo,
say in
like,
2018 Modric won it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he deserved.
Won the Champions League, got to the final for the World Cup.
Yeah, but then how is that better than what Ronaldo or Messi done that year? Huh? Because like okay, so Modric won the Ballon d'Or in 2018.
Yeah.
But then, how is that better than say Messi and Ronaldo?
I mean, yeah, with Ronaldo
or Suarez.
With 2018, you could have given it to Ronaldo because they won the Champions League. At this
point, so I just don't think. That's what I'm saying. There's not like, I don't know. Like it's not like I wouldn't say Modric was the best player in the world in 2018. I think like Salah scored like 40 goals in 40 games.
I think that year, like 2018. To be honest, you could have given it
probably
to,
I don't know.
You can give it to Salah. You can give it to Ronaldo.
Mbappe like won the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have given it to Ronaldo, but I just think, to be honest, I think Ballon d'Or doesn't really mean anything.
I feel like it's lost its thing. I mean, it's a journalist award in a way because no matter how you kind
it's not just that.
It's like the national captains. I get it.
It's the national manager and captain. They all have.
But to be honest, even when you watch videos and you talk and like players are talking about how other players and how good they are, they're always going to go with the guy that they've played with or that they've, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to think it's every single country in the world. Do you know what I mean? So like even
I think it's a big deal. But I personally think like now that look at the contenders for Ballon d'Or now. Now what kind of puts me off the award is just when I know it's a shame because obviously Ronaldo and Messi dominated the award, but like look at how good some of the guys who never won it were, and look at the guys that might win it now. Like no disrespect to the guys now, but like Iniesta, Neymar never won it, but Jude might. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's not the point though. Like it's not based on the guys before might be better. So like
I get it's that year, but
do you know what I mean? But like some of the players that have won it, even before Messi and Ronaldo, and you think, oh well, really? Like Michael Owen won the Ballon d'Or. You can't tell me there weren't better players than Michael Owen and he was a world-class player. But
what year did he win it?
Like 2001 when he was still young. Like Zidane was still playing, Thierry Henry was still playing. Like Thierry Henry's never won Ballon d'Or. Do you know what I mean? Like in 2006, Italy won the World Cup, and I think it was Cannavaro won that Ballon d'Or. That doesn't make any sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Like Ronaldinho was still the best player in the world in my opinion. Ronaldo was still. I know Ronaldo wasn't the number one, but like you still had even Cristiano Ronaldo. Like there were still players. So a lot of it is dictated by who won the World Cup or who won.
At this point, it is.
So I just think it's just.
At this point, it is just kind of like who won the trophies that we care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, it's very subjective. Like.
So I'm also as well with team sports. I do think just in general people get a little too fixated on who individually is better than whoever. Like as in, I feel like nowadays you can't even talk about football without. I mean, I know we probably do it, but like without saying. Who's better? I think he's better than him, and I think him this year is better than that guy who played in 2008. Like who like?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't actually matter.
No, I agree.
It's not really product. Like It's,
to be honest, if I was a player, I think it would be nice to win those awards, but at the same time, I think I'd rather win. Say, if you said to me, would you rather win like the Ballon d'Or or like
the World Cup
or the Champions League?
I would pick the team. I'd pick the trophy.
100%.
I would pick. I think the trophy. The trophy has the most credibility because you have to win it like on the score. It's not like you can watch a game and say, I think that team won. That the team that scored the goals won the trophy, won the game.
And it's all just opinions really, whereas
that's undisputed. Like that is like, you know what I mean? When you beat a team, that's undisputed. You can't you can say decisions were wrong or whatever, but you won the football match.
You won,
you won that. You earned it.
You know what, it's funny actually, I was thinking about this, like when people were talking about like even in boxing or MMA, I think the pound for pound thing is obviously it's smart from them to make a pound for pound because it gets people debating. Right. But it's dumb because it's like the idea of pound for pound in combat sports.
It's all hypothetical.
Basically what it means is because obviously whoever's a heavyweight champion on paper would beat anybody in the world because they're the biggest guy. But what it's meant to mean if everyone was the same size and the same strength, who's the best fighter basically.
Yeah.
So obviously, John Jones would always be number one because he's the heavyweight and he's the big guy. But you could argue that, say, Mighty Mouse is just as good as him, even though he's the smallest weight class. Yeah. But the reason why it's dumb is because it's all just opinions. Because a guy can be, you can't prove it, and then secondly, it's just like, sometimes it doesn't change in how it should go. So like when Volkanovski fought Islam Makhachev, the first time, Volkanovski was the pound for pound number 1. Islam was number 2. Islam won a close fight, but so number 2 beat number 1, but then the rankings didn't change.
Well, I'm pretty sure when Edwards beat Usman as well, to make it, well, I mean, that was 1-1 at that point, but even to make it 2-1, I'm pretty sure he was still below him.
Well, in the pound for pound? Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
I think he was.
Which, I mean, I get, because obviously Usman had like a 15-fight win streak and he had beaten everybody.
Which is cool, but when you beat the guy twice...
Yeah, no, I agree,
you are better than him.
That's what I'm saying, so pound for pound is just...
It is stupid.
Subjective.
I mean, I don't really, in general, when it comes to like sports debates, I think I'm really starting to get sick of hypotheticals in general. Like, you know, I mean, I used to love saying, in this situation, in that scenario, like this would happen, but you don't actually know. I'd rather just go off what actually happened. And
yeah, I'm the same.
Pound for pound is a hypothetical thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I don't mind like, for example, I don't mind necessarily the rankings, even like the divisions, because you go, this guy, because it kind of moves with who beats who.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that can still doesn't matter because it can be based. You might not get like for example, look at Bilal Muhammad. He's won like 10 fights in a row. Or whatever, hasn't lost for years, and he's been overlooked for a title shot loads of times. Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of not just based on how good you are; it's also based on when are you available can you fight right now? Who's popular? Who can get the most hype? Who can get the most views? So it's kind of not just about. It's not a meritocracy when it's just like based on merit, just on merit. It is a bit on merit, but not.
But it's all the factors into one. Basically.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like,
so
does anyone care? You know.
And that's why pound for pound is kind of like. I mean, I don't watch boxing properly, but like, I mean, I only watch the big fights, but I see the pound for pound get updated all the time. There's a guy called Inoue. He's like,
the monster, the
Japanese really small. He's at the smallest weight class.
I
think he's like ranked pound for pound number 1 for most people, and then you've got like Canelo and Crawford who are like in the top 3 as well. But then they don't fight very often, and it's like you've got Tyson Fury. Where does he rank? He's beat all the heavyweights. So it's what I'm saying.
It's hypothetical.
It's all hypothetical. Yeah, but I guess it is fun for some people to like.
Even I mean, football has like team rankings as well. Like where England are like top.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
4.
Sorry.
Aren't we like top 3?
Yeah, we're always like pretty high, but that can change all the time.
We don't win anything.
But it's not. Yeah, it's not based on anything. Like I think you can
I think they do it based on. It's almost like they do it based on what players are worth. Like
no, it's based on like your just recent results basically. So it's not necessarily just on tournaments, but it's based on things like. Say like in friendlies, depending on who you're playing as well. If I think Belgium have been ranked number 1 before because they've beaten teams like France or they've beaten Germany or they've beaten whoever.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, it's all just like subjective kind of thing. I'm not really like a lover of it. I kind of just prefer just going off what happened kind of thing. That's why I always think in football, like you can be unlucky, but I've never agreed with this team didn't deserve to win or this team deserved to win. Unless you get screwed out of a decision kind of thing. But I always think, especially in football, in team sports, you get what you deserve essentially.
Yeah, I think, off the assumption that the game is officiated normally,
and over the course of a season, because it's not like it's one. I guess a final can maybe go against you.
Yeah, because one decision can cause you.
A whole season, if you win the league or don't, you get relegated or you don't, or whatever you miss out on, I think you've had like nearly a whole year, and it's a pattern based on that sort of thing at that time. Obviously, there are variables like injuries and stuff, but like everyone has to deal with those and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, I think because it's no coincidence the same teams are up there every year because they do certain things and they make sure they win. It's I mean, otherwise one team can get really lucky one year and win it, and even then, like. I don't think you can get.
I wouldn't even say it's lucky.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you can get unlucky and get relegated the same way. I don't think you can get lucky and win the league.
Yeah, it's like when Leicester won the league.
You have to actually they were well managed. They had really good players, and the players did the thing, and then they won it.
It's like I wouldn't say Leicester winning the league was lucky kind of thing. They
did it.
They deserved to win.
Like Vardy literally was the best striker in the Prem when he did it. He broke the record.
It wasn't a fluke. Like they,
I mean, they did it.
I know that wasn't their goal for the year, but it happened. Do you know what I mean? Like over 38 games, they were the best team. They were the best team.
There wasn't lucky. You can't get lucky that many times.
Yeah, I think what you can say is a team has played above their sort of capability.
Overachieved. Yeah.
Yeah, like they massively overachieved.
Beat the odds. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean. some of the odd, like even now, because of that, the bookies will never give you like, say for example, Ipswich are in the Premier League next season.
They won't give you 5,000 to 1. Basically.
No, but wasn't the odds more than that? Wasn't it like?
No, it was because
I thought it was 55.
A fan put on £5 and got 25.
Can you just double check that?
Oh no, maybe it was.
Can you just check what were the odds for Leicester to win the league in 2016? I'm sure it was way higher. And I think that's why now you can't get odds like that on anything, like for outrights on tournaments, because I don't think if you tried to bet on, I don't know, Ipswich to win the league or
5,000 to 1.
It was 5,000 to 1. Okay.
Oh yeah, because a fan put £5 on it.
Oh, and he won 250 grand.
No, he won 25.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I think some fans bet more. They bet like
probably
50 quid.
A season-long bet, yeah. You might.
And you got to think like fans of every club probably do that.
100%.
Especially the smaller clubs. I think I'll put tenner on it for a laugh, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But even I checked the other day, Liverpool to win the league now. It is still technically possible if Liverpool were to win their last two games,
and then
the other teams, like let's say they drew and lost one, or both of them drew and lost one. Liverpool's odds to win the league are 500 to 1. I mean, it's not impossible, but I find it unlikely.
£1 on it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It probably won't. Well, I'm almost certain it won't happen.
Yeah, well, my bet fell apart because PSG went out of the Champions League. So.
Yeah, you can't rely on PSG.
Yeah, but
I always feel like
I wasn't relying on them. I was more relying on Mbappe, to be honest, because I just think I know it's a team sport, but I just think sometimes
he didn't show up.
I thought like a top player would just drag his team through.
Okay, I mean it's definitely possible in team sports for like the best player to
do it.
And that is why they get paid the most money, because they are expected to.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't happen.
Go through with those moments, kind of thing.
Going back to what you're saying about, I don't think teams deserve and this and that deserve. Okay, I know I've said like, actually no, I don't even think I've said it about Harry Kane deserving anything.
I think with individuals, I think that's a bit different.
Is it?
I think so, because I think Kane is good enough and deserves to, because he's played above and beyond his.
That's true. No,
Okay, I know he's not perfect every game, because no player is, but he is you can rely on him to be 8, 9 out of 10 nearly every week for years, and his ability, which is clear to see, has been amazing, but he just hasn't won anything. He's been unlucky. The same way I would say Steven Gerrard has been unlucky to not win a Premier League. He was good enough. If he really, really wanted to, he could have gone to Man City or to Chelsea, but he said, no, I want to stay here, kind of thing, and win the league. And
I never thought about that. I guess you're right. With individuals, I've been seeing a lot of this, like, Royce deserves to win the Champions League or something. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like the game doesn't owe him anything.
I mean, he's won stuff. I mean, he's won stuff outside of the Premier League, hasn't he? Sorry, the league. He's won like the cups and stuff. And,
they won it.
And he won the league. Did he win the Bundesliga?
They won it in 2021. And I don't know. He joined the year they won it.
Okay,
he joined in 2013 or 13, whenever.
Well, no. But they were in the Europa.
No, because Bayern won everything that year. So he joined in 2012 when they won it.
Okay,
Klopp
right.
Won it that year.
Fine. Yeah. So
I don't think the game owes him anything personally.
Not necessarily. No. Maybe not. But yeah, I think. Yeah, it's like, and that's why it's kind of different in, say, individual sports, like combat sports, because I don't think, for example, Dustin Poirier, I think he's been incredible. I think he's the greatest fighter to never win a title. And if he doesn't win against Islam in June, in a few weeks, that's in 3 weeks, it's just harsh to say.
You can't say he doesn't. Like, you can't say he deserves it.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Yeah.
Every time they put a guy in front of him,
he hasn't done it.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to be the champion, that's not.
You have to.
We know it's not easy, but you have to beat the guy.
You have to do it. Otherwise, it's not.
Like, I know Charles is so scary on the floor and he hits hard, but you got to beat him.
And also as well, like, he had the opportunity to, because you got to think. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, when he beat. Okay, so what happened was, Habib had his last fight. He said he wasn't coming back in October of 2020. And then he said, I'm retiring. But the UFC still didn't know. And then the UFC are like... So that's in October, Habib's last fight. And he's still technically the champion, but he said he's retiring. But the UFC were trying to get him to come back to sort of reconsider. So in that time, you have Poirier versus McGregor, the rematch. He knocks out Conor McGregor. Habib officially was retired because the belt is stripped from him. But he had the opportunity to say, fight Michael Chandler for the belt, or it would have been, probably it would have been Michael Chandler or Charles Oliveira. Those two fight for the belt instead. Oliveira wins. But he might be a lot of people were saying, well, why didn't he just fight for the belt? But he chose the money to fight McGregor, fought him again, made loads of money, then fought for the belt, but he lost. So it's like, does he regret that and not just fighting for the belt? Because he might be thinking, well, I can beat Michael Chandler, and he did beat Michael Chandler. So who knows? But then he wouldn't have made as much money.
I think, but with individual sports, it's even clearer to say because again, unless it's like officiated really bad, if you lose the fight, then you obviously don't deserve to win the fight.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, usually
But yeah, also as well, going back to the football point, I think Kane is an anomaly because I don't think there's ever been a player that good to win nothing. I know there isn't. I know there isn't ever a player.
No, I agree.
There's never been a player to play as good as he has to actually, like there are players who are not much worse, but there are players that Kane is better than who have been wildly successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I personally would take Kane over the it's a bit of a out of nowhere kind of comparison, but let's just say Lewandowski, for example. I prefer Kane. Right?
I much prefer Kane. But
Lewandowski's been so successful.
Exactly.
He's broken all these records.
He's played.
You know what I mean?
He's won leagues in multiple countries, kind of thing.
Exactly. He's won the Champions League. You know what I mean?
He? Oh yeah, right.
2020. So.
Oh yeah.
That's when everyone said he should have won the Ballon d'Or.
Oh right, yeah.
Like you know what I mean? But I think Kane's better. But
I agree.
Unfortunately, he wasn't on the team that gave him that. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's just an anomaly. Generally speaking, I don't think players or teams ever not deserve something that they don't get. I think whatever you got is what you deserve. That's how you played. That's how you fought.
I mean, you can be. There are instances of being unlucky, but I just think generally you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve.
Like Mbappe, for example,
he's still young. I mean, he's what 20?
He's 25.
25. Like is it definite he's going to Madrid?
It's okay. So that is officially.
I know he announced he's leaving.
He's announced he's leaving. Fabrizio's all over it. Side note, I kind of miss not knowing when a player would join a club until.
People say that, but I think that's just nostalgia talking.
It probably is.
I don't really think it makes no difference. It really makes no difference.
But Fabrizio's all over it, saying it's Madrid. It's Madrid.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like the worst kept secret.
Man, you know what? This is probably never ever gonna happen. But I would love to see Mbappe. And to be honest, I wouldn't, but for the sake of my team, Chelsea. But obviously, for the sake of whatever, I would love to see Mbappe at like an Arsenal or a Liverpool.
Why?
I would love to see how he got on in the Prem.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it would have been good.
Like, imagine if he just goes to Arsenal.
Well, you never know. Like, Man City could afford him. Do you know what I mean?
But I don't want to see Man City.
Yeah,
they win everything without him.
Sorry. Yeah, true.
Like, I want to see him go to like an Arsenal that aren't guaranteed to win anything.
But that doesn't really happen anymore.
I know.
The only time I can think of something like that happening is like when you're thinking like the best player in the world go into like a team that isn't really like. I think of Maradona. Like he went to Napoli. Have you watched that film about Maradona?
No.
Oh my god, you should watch it. It's have you heard of the film called Senna?
No.
Okay, it's based on this. I forgot who the guy who directs the film, but Senna was a Formula One driver, and I haven't seen the film, but everyone says it's brilliant. Even people that don't watch Formula One, and it's like a great film. But he made the Maradona film, and it's really good. I watched it at the Odeon, but the only one that they were showing it at was the one in Kingston or the one in Shaftesbury Avenue. So I was like, oh, why don't I just go up to Central London and watch it? I went up. It came out in like 2019, and I was like, there was only like me and two other people in the cinema. Watched it, and it was like incredible, and it tells you like the whole story. And long story short, him going to, I mean, I already knew what he did in Napoli, but the film is really worth watching. But he went to Napoli and won Serie A.
Oh, right, yeah.
And but it's not just about that, it's about his whole life as well. But he went to Napoli and won Serie A, and he was the best player in the world. And he won them their first ever league title, and he won them like the UEFA Cup, and he won them like the Italian Supercoppa or whatever it's called. That would be like the equivalent of, say, Messi in his prime going to, say, Newcastle or Everton before Newcastle had money, and they basically blew all their money on Maradona, and it would be like prime Messi, like 2013 Messi going to Everton, and then winning them the league, and then eventually winning them everything. I know he didn't win the European Cup, but he won them everything else. That would be what it's like.
Because
and winning Argentina's World Cup by himself.
That stuff just doesn't happen, man, anymore. Like players, I don't know how different it was back then in terms of being able to pay. Like I don't know how Napoli afforded to
Well, because I mean, I don't want to give away the film, but in Italy, in the south of Italy where they're from, in Naples, a lot of it is run by that whole area is run by like the mafia there.
Okay,
the Camorra they're called, and they sort of funded a lot of how they were able to afford him, kind of thing.
Because like,
and they bought him from Barcelona, so yeah.
These clubs can never ever afford to pay him, give Mbappe $1 million a week, like realistically, whereas Madrid can.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, yeah, and you have to remember as well, Napoli, Serie A in the 80s and sort of early 90s was the best league in the world. So Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Roma, all of these teams are like the top teams in Europe, and they're way better than, say, Napoli. So essentially, it'd be like, yeah, like I said, Messi coming in to the Premier League and beating Man United, Man City, Liverpool, all of these top teams by himself, kind of thing. And that's just how. Yeah, it's worth watching. You should really watch the film. But
is it on Netflix or?
I don't know. I watched it in the cinema.
What's it called?
It's just called Maradona.
Okay.
But I watched it in. I watched it once again in lockdown. It was on Channel 4, but that was like 4 years ago.
And that's the thing. If you ask any person from Argentina, like, who is the greatest, they still say Maradona.
Yeah, I actually saw a TikTok a few weeks ago where they're asking like Argentinians like, who's better, Messi or Maradona? Or they still say Maradona.
Or the videos where they just say who's the greatest from Argentina, and a lot of them say Maradona or even Riquelme as well.
Oh, Riquelme is not in that.
I know he's not, but like, it's funny how
they might just be Boca fans.
Whereas if you go to probably any other country ever in the world, it's Messi, probably. Or anyone that's like.
I think it's because Maradona won the World Cup by himself with like an average team. I know I'm not saying that to take it away from Messi's achievement, because that was incredible. It's not like Argentina were, say, like prime Brazil or prime France kind of thing. But they're still a good team. But he was literally winning it with players like who are just average.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I wish I was able to watch football back then to know how good that team was.
It wasn't great. I mean, he literally scored. And you got to remember, he's not even like as much of a forward as Messi. He's more like a creative midfielder. I mean, he still was like the outlet, but he wasn't like, Messi, who was like a wide forward or like playing centre forward. He was like more like a, how can I compare him? But he was everywhere, kind of thing.
No, but isn't that what Messi did though? Like, when they won, obviously when he was younger, yeah, he played more forward. But when you watch him now, that's how he plays.
I know, but like
a quarterback.
Yeah, but like you'd have to watch. But like Maradona was just like sort of picking the ball up from like the defence, dribbling through everybody, putting somebody in for an assist or scoring. Like, that's just how. To be honest, they're very similar. They're nearly identical to the way they play. Just nearly identical. But I'd say Messi's more of a forward kind of thing. But yeah, Maradona was just running the show by himself, kind of thing. And you have to think as well, like, he was like partying and stuff, and like he wasn't training at all.
That is nuts, yeah.
He wasn't training. He might have been training like one day a week when he was like hungover and stuff, and then he was winning everything, kind of thing, just by himself. And you got to think he got to 2 World Cup finals like Messi. 82 he got. Was he it? Yeah, 82. I think he got them to the quarters or semis.
They won in 78, and then
he wasn't in that.
And then he got them to 82.
He wasn't in that squad though.
What?
He got left out of the 78 squad.
No, yeah. What I'm saying is hold on.
So they won it in 78.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is,
what
I'm saying is Argentina won it in 78. He wasn't there, but then he got. Was it 90 or 82 that he got them to? Because they won 86, obviously.
Yeah. So 82, they got. It was in Spain. They got to like the quarters or something.
Oh, okay. So they won 86.
86, they won it in
and
Mexico.
then you got them to
1990
against West Germany. Something like that.
Yeah, they lost on penalties. And then 94, he started. He was at the end of his career. But then he got banned for failing the drug test. So it's like.
Was that the one where he like battered it top bins and went up to the camera like?
Yes.
That's
in America. Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, so yeah, one of the greatest ever. It's definitely worth watching that.
That's one thing I wish I could actually. I mean, I guess I technically could pull up the tapes, but I would have loved to have just sat there and watched.
Yeah.
Like a full game of some of these guys.
And that game against England is always like insane to me, because it's like where the first goal where he obviously handballed it.
Yeah, the handball.
That was the first goal. So like that made it 1-0.
Yeah.
And then the second goal where he literally just ran for everybody.
Yeah.
And then obviously I think Gary Lineker made it 2-1, and then there wasn't enough time to get a goal. But like that England team was really good. That England team should have. And obviously there was a lot of tension on that game because obviously I don't know how much you know about, like the Falklands War and stuff. So obviously that was sort of going on.
Oh yeah, I did not. I didn't realize how big of a rivalry, like how much that England and Argentina kind of hates each other until you kind of mentioned it when the World Cup was on. I had no idea that they were actually rivals to us.
Yeah, because it's to do with the Falkland Islands.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's like that war was essentially going on at the same time as that game.
Oh.
And you can hear, like, I think I heard Maradona talking about it where he's like, obviously those players, they didn't do anything they didn't kill any Argentinians, but he said, but they were representing the country that did kill innocent Argentinians. So it's like it felt personal kind of thing. So yeah, that's why when England and Argentina play, and obviously because of the handball as well, that rivalry has always been huge, England and Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people will never want Argentina to win, or it doesn't matter if it's Messi to win.
I really did not know like any of that. I just thought, I had no idea.
A lot of people don't know. Yeah.
All. Like going into when I was watching the World Cup last time, I was like, I'll be honest, I would have been quite happy with Messi winning it. I said it before, but like I had no idea that Argentina winning it was actually a bit of a problem.
It is. It definitely no. Yeah, people are not. People that are like sort of patriotic, they definitely wouldn't have wanted Argentina to win the World Cup. Like, for example, I think more people would have preferred. People don't really like France either because it's kind of a rivalry as well. But like, I think people, if you could ask most, say proper England fans, I think they would have preferred somebody like
Ukraine.
I don't know if they would prefer that either. Like maybe were they even in the World Cup? Definitely were.
Oh no, I think they made it. Probably like Japan or something. I don't know. Do they have anything to do with
maybe
us?
Japan, maybe like Brazil. I think Brazil would be good, or because you don't really want those teams that are your rivals to win.
Yeah, I guess a South American team where you have nothing to do with them.
Like Brazil or
Uruguay.
Europe. I think I don't know. People just don't like Suarez, so I don't think people.
How about an African team like Cameroon?
And I think people would be quite happy to see an African team win.
Yeah, you know what? Morocco as well. Like I don't think anyone would have a problem with an African.
Yeah, I didn't want Spain to win. I definitely didn't. That's why I was kind of like, I didn't want France to win. I'm just sick of France because they're so
good,
sort of good, and obviously they're kind of like a rival as well. So I was just a bit like, I don't want to see France win. So it was kind of like a lose-lose situation, that game for me. Yeah. So that's why I'm hoping. That's why at the Euros, I don't mind, say, Portugal winning. Like, if England don't win, I kind of want, like, Portugal to win.
I mean, well, I'm sure maybe if we do a show closer to the Euros, we can do, like, full-on predictions and everything.
I think I have a feeling, though, Portugal might win.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said Portugal or Germany.
I think it's going to be somebody, yeah.
Because Germany have been rubbish, like I'm not saying because, but Germany have been rubbish the past couple of tournaments, but I think that I just have a feeling
they're due a good one kind of thing.
That they are inevitable in a way.
Yeah. Wait, is Gnabry's German, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay,
Plays every game.
They've got Gnabry, Sané.
Kroos is back in the squad.
Kroos is back.
If they play Wirtz, Musiala, Florian Wirtz.
Who's up front though?
They play like Füllkrug or like maybe Havertz. And
Füllkrug.
False line maybe. But Füllkrug is their main striker, which isn't great. I mean,
but he looked good in the Champions League.
No, like he's. Yeah,
they got Rudiger's at the back. They got obviously Neuer still there. Is Müller retired or is he still?
No, he still plays. He was actually playing for Bayern.
No, but I didn't know if he was retired.
Oh no, he still plays international. And and also Kroos, who's older than him, just came back.
Right. Okay. So let's look at their team. So in goal is obviously Neuer, Kimmich.
So yeah, Kimmich does play right back or centre mid. No, so he originally was a right back, and then when Pep took him under his wing, kind of made him into like this guy who could do centre mid as well, almost like Philip Lahm almost.
Kind of like Trent as well, kind of when he goes in midfield.
Yes, but yeah, you could say he's
right. So hold on, so they've got, if you go through their probable team, it's probably going to be Neuer, Kimmich, let's just say right back,
and then you could say
Rudiger.
Mats Hummels, Rudiger.
Oh, Hummels is still playing for Germany.
I think so. Let me double check. They might have had,
either way, that's quite a solid.
I think it might have been Klosterman. Hold on one sec, because he's a bit of a younger guy.
Okay, that's quite a solid team. Okay, left back. Who's the left back?
I know this as well. Hold on.
I know. Is it someone from Dortmund? I have no idea. I don't really keep up to date with German football.
Hold on. I don't know that guy. Let me see. Who did they play against France?
What did they play France recently?
Like it was in. Oh yeah, I forgot. They have Tar at centre back as well. The guy from Leipzig.
Okay.
But yeah, a guy left back is called Mittelstadt, or whatever his name is.
I've never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Don't know who he
plays. Okay, so then midfield then. Who's their midfield?
But the midfield would be like, so definitely Kroos and Gundogan. But
oh god, Gundogan, yeah.
But like that, I mean,
Obviously, Sané, Gnabry,
so yeah, on the right you would have like Sané, and then
left
maybe
Gnabry.
Gnabry, maybe through the middle you can have
Fulkrug.
Musiala. Now that
You could have like yeah.
Musiala. Now that Muller's a bit older, you can have
Yeah.
Musiala or Wirtz, right? And then up front you can have Fulkrug. So
is Bender still in the team?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
So basically,
so they got a solid.
And the thing is, with Germany, they don't necessarily need super duper stars to win a tournament. I just think they're always like this really well oiled machine kind of thing. So
I think, do you know what though? I still think France always do turn up though. I feel like
France. I mean, when I look at that Portugal team, I'm like, that's low key a super team.
I wouldn't say it's a super team, but it's good.
But like
it's solid.
Good team though. They
got
Ruben
good teams.
Diaz, Cancelo, Dallo at the back with I forget who the other centre back is. Yeah, I mean they've got Rui. Wait, I think
look at that guy in midfield.
Bernardo, Bruno.
The guy that was at PSG.
Oh, Renato Sanchez.
No, not him.
Vitinha.
No, he's like the guy that plays for PSG. He's Portuguese as well. Okay, but I was gonna say he was like the tall, like defensive midfield black guy.
Danilo Pereira.
Is that him?
The bald guy.
Yes,
Danilo Pereira.
And they got Pereira right back for Leicester.
They got Semedo as well.
They got a solid team. Like they've actually got a solid team.
And then going forward, like
still got
Ronaldo, Bruno, Gonzalo Ramos, who he's young, but he was good for them in the World Cup.
Was he the one that was at PSG?
He's the one that scored the hat trick. Yeah, he scored the hat trick.
But he played the other day against.
Yeah, ghosted. But Rafael Leao.
Leao's really good. He's Portuguese. Oh wow.
Joao Felix, yeah. So they have a team.
They have a solid team.
They have a team. They can actually win it.
And with Ronaldo, like I know he's not the same, but he's always
possible. With him, anything is possible.
Anything's possible. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be good.
I might put a bet on them to win it.
I might put like a 5 or a 10 on them to win, or maybe Belgium.
I wonder if I can actually.
You can do it now. You can.
I would never trust Belgium to win.
I know, but like I feel like they've still got a good team. You can't count them out.
The thing is,
and who's their manager now? I know it's not Martinez.
Is it not Martinez?
Nah, I don't think so.
Not Henri? No, he was on the staff, but I don't think he was.
Nah.
I don't think he's stepping up to it.
Yeah, can you check the odds and then check the manager for Belgium?
Sure, I'm gonna check the odds for everyone.
I know England will be favourite, and then France will be like joint favourite.
Are we gonna do it one day?
I don't know, man.
Are we gonna do it with this Are we gonna do it when I say this generation? I mean like Kane.
I don't think so. Probably not.
Watch when as soon as Kane retires, we win sign. Flipping.
I mean, we've had better teams on paper before, I'd say, but who's the favourite?
Sorry, I'm trying to find Euros. Is it UEFA? Yeah, Euros.
Are you on Sky Bet?
I'm on Paddy.
Oh yeah, so if you go on outright, so you need to go on outright.
No, but I'm not on the right competition yet.
No, just give me it. Okay, I'll get it on now. Okay, so specials, competitions. Here we go. 2004. Okay, so the favourites are England at 3-1, France are just under 4-1, and then Germany are 5-1, Spain at 8-1, Portugal 8-1 as well, Italy 16-1, Belgium are 16-1 as well. So, yeah. And if you just check who the Belgian manager is for me quick.
Yep.
But yeah, that's some solid teams in there. What country is it in this year? Germany. It's actually in Germany as well. Yeah. I love the Euros. And it's only like a few weeks ago.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, I have no idea. Yeah, some good teams.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited for the Euros.
I would love 3 weeks as well. Our first game is Serbia.
Yeah. And I mean, who are we gonna play? It's always hard, isn't it? It's like you can't, no matter what.
Luckily, we've got options though, so we'll see.
I mean, we've got some injuries, but should be okay by the time we get.
I think we've got most of our team though.
But I mean, I
don't think anyone's missing like.
I mean, I'd love to see as long as it's like a Stone/Dyer and maybe Maguire and then right back Walker.
Dyer might be back actually.
Walker. I just hope we have a fit left back by then who isn't Chilwell. I want Shaw.
Shaw's
I want Shaw.
I saw that Shaw's injured again.
It's probably going to be Chilwell.
I don't mind Chilwell. He's just not. I don't think he's great.
I've watched enough Chelsea games to just sort of. Really
but I don't think Luke Shaw's that amazing either.
I think amazing.
He's good.
I think Luke Shaw is
better, but he's
good on the ball.
But listen, I agree. But then if you're injured all the time, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're injured, then you're kind of useless. I mean, Reece James.
Best ability.
I had Reece James to be the best right back out of all of them at the time.
No way.
I
never said that. I do think Reece James is good, but
I thought he was just overall the best. Like he was great on the ball. great at defending. He actually had it going on.
He is good. I do think
But
he's
just
good.
when you're injured, you're useless. So
Yeah.
and
plus, you only need. I think people realise, especially with positions like right back, left back, you only need one. Do you know what I mean? You don't need. You can't play two right backs. It's like whereas with strikers or wingers, or centre mids, you can play two. You can't play two right backs or two left backs. It's just not. But yeah, apart from that, it looks like we're gonna have to. It'll probably have to be Chilwell if we're gonna play a left-footed. And I reckon our formation will probably be like 4-2-3-1.
Probably like that's.
Or to be honest, I wouldn't mind playing 5 of that like we did in 2018. That sort of 5.
I'd rather play 4 just so we can keep some of the talent that we have up further.
I think we can still do that if you have and it turns into like when you don't have the ball, it's a back 5, and when you do have the ball, it's a back 3. Like when we had like Trippier.
Yeah.
It was like Trippier. Was Trippier on the? No, it wasn't because I think Shaw was fit, but sometimes it'd be Walker and Trippier to double up. Or I wouldn't mind like Walker, Trent.
Walker right, that's what I'm saying. Walker right centre back and then Trent right wing back.
Yeah.
That is like not unbeatable, but
that is really good though. It's like OP
imagine,
kind of thing.
that's so much aura because
it actually is so much
Trent
aura.
can do his thing on the ball and then Walker is there to cover him. Imagine like you get past Trent or you get the ball and Trent's out of position, but then Walker's there. Like like that would be so good because if you don't get near him, if you don't get near Trent enough, he will do something. He'll deliver it. That'd be great. That's what I've been saying for like ages. But then at the same time, I saw that in our like friendlies, whatever they were, we've been doing 4. So obviously we're 4 at the back. It's Walker, like it's undisputed Walker. So, but the midfield, it's a shame about Phillips. I wish Phillips played more.
Yeah, I forgot about him. I think Henderson.
We ain't got much time, and it looks like.
Oh, we've got 30 seconds. But yeah, we'll continue talking about England after the break. But yeah, I forgot about Phillips completely. But we still got Henderson, who is still a good player. I don't care. I know he's not like. I'm not saying I would start him, but he's still a very good player. So and he's got experience.
And that's the thing. Like it's not always about having like who's the highest
nice
rated
flashy.
on
You know what I
FIFA.
mean?
Like you know what I mean. Like, Rice and Hendo, I'll take.
Okay. We've got 10 seconds. It's been Masai and my brother Jay with Off the Cuff show. We'll be back in about just over 5 minutes. It's been lovely. Hate to love and leave you. We'll see you very soon. Bye. Be careful. Don't knock that over. 10 seconds. Cool. And we're back. Oh, nearly. And we're back. That went quick. What was I saying before?
About Hendo.
Yeah, do you know what? Someone actually asked me who would I pick for the England team. Usually I'm pretty good and I can pick it almost straight away, but now I'm struggling, to be honest.
I mean, certain players, the way the seasons have had, it's hard to really, you know what I mean? Certain things have become debates when before they were really clear.
Like what?
Cole Palmer, I think maybe he could get in there potentially. I mean, obviously Foden now is a bit more of a definite. Before Foden was kind of like a more of a luxury player, whereas now, I mean, look at him. You gotta get him in.
But not necessarily because, for example, I think Saka. Even though I've never really been a lover of Saka, but he's been so good, and he's been good for England. He has to start for me. But you can't play Foden, Saka, and Palmer. One, they're all left-footed, and they're all pretty much playing nearly all in the same position.
Yeah, no. So this is what I would do so ignoring the back 4, I would go with Rice and, I mean, ideally Phillips, and Hendo, right? CDMs, yeah. And then on the right, I'd have Saka. Through the middle, I'd have Bellingham, and I'd actually put Foden on the left, just because Foden has played on the left before. You got your two.
But then, do you not think you're like just trying to accommodate certain players just for the sake of it?
No, because I mean, realistically, I mean, on the left? I mean, what, you're going to put Rashford out there? I like Rashford, and I've always kind of said Rashford, but now that we like the way Foden is playing, you can't not play him, in my opinion. Or even like on the left, I'd probably just go with him, to be honest.
Right, but then surely there's other players, like not necessarily like, but it's all about, for me,
players that can play together. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, it's not just about fitting in the best players kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But like, what would you put Rashford then on the left?
I like Rashford, but I definitely wouldn't play him. No.
So who goes on the left? Grealish?
I feel like he hasn't played well enough. But
I don't think so either.
that's why I'm saying I don't know who to pick. I actually have no idea.
I'm quite happy with who I think should play, to be honest. I think Bellingham, we need him in there because...
Yeah, Bellingham's definitely playing. But I maybe wouldn't play him as far forward as that. I might play Bellingham and Rice. And he's like,
nah, if anything,
box to box.
Okay, again, he's so young, so this is like a big thing to just put on there. But like Rice and Cobby, I'd probably do. But again, too soon, maybe.
No chance. I think, not saying he's not good. I think Cobby's really good. But I feel like he only gets this attention because he plays for Man United.
You think so?
Yeah, it's like a big club bias. Like, I don't think that. Okay, not saying he should be in the squad either, but like, say like that Wharton from Palace. What's the difference between those two? They both haven't done anything. They both played as well as each other. No one mentions him because he plays for Crystal Palace. Cobby's good, and I think he probably will be an England international. But
yeah, but I mean, you could also use that and say, okay, Cobby, yeah, he's been under the microscope because United are a bigger club who are underachieving, right? So obviously he's going to be noticed more because he's got more eyes on him. But at the same time, he's taken that on and still played well.
No, he's played well, but
maybe
like,
other players wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not discrediting. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but like, it's kind of just a bit like, oh, I don't know.
No, that's why I say it's a risk, and that's why it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, Cobby, whereas Southgate's probably biting his nails, probably thinking, oh, I know he's really good, but would he do it? I don't know. Like that's the thing where, and especially because he's centre mid as well, it's not like he's playing up front where he's got freedom.
Yeah.
He has to really go with the system and play a certain way. So if anything, the safest bet, Bryce and Hendo back there. I'm safe. I feel I trust them.
I reckon. I don't know if it will be him. I could see a world where it's like a midfield of Bellingham, Rice, and Gallagher.
Gallagher even.
Because Gallagher's got legs. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
like
And he's good.
yeah,
I
like
mean, I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think
I didn't like him. Just I think it's more me being angry at Chelsea as a whole, and then him being like the face of the club.
Yeah, I like Gallagher.
Like I do like him now.
And he's hard. You do need play.
He's come around, and I like a guy that just works hard and will foul someone when he has to foul.
You need players like that. You can't just have like
pretty players.
Everyone be luxury sort of.
Yeah, like
player.
Gallagher does the ugly stuff. And
yeah, but he doesn't get any credit. I mean, he's kind of. I'm not saying he's as good as him, but he's very comparable to like. I'm not saying everybody loves him either, but Jordan Henderson, he just sort of he does his job. He does the basic stuff well, and he has got ability. I mean, you can't be at that level and not have it. I'm not saying he's
when he was playing like further up for Palace, we saw that.
And at Charlton, I know it's a low level, but at Charlton, that's how I first knew about him. Like 5 years ago, he was scoring like 10 goals. He still gets goals now. To be fair to him, like
he scored the other day against Villa.
Did he? Yeah, but I would love to know. I bet he's got at least 8 Premier League goals this season. He probably has. And Chelsea are struggling this year. I reckon he's scored quite a few goals. I think he scored away at Palace as well. Like he has scored goals and he's got assists. I like him. I've always liked Gallagher. I think he's a good player. Yeah. So if I had to, I probably would play Rice, Gallagher, and Bellingham.
I think I'd go, maybe Rice, Gallagher, Bellingham.
Yeah.
But then Bellingham can do his thing a bit further up. But either way, I mean, that's kind of like the 4-2-3-1.
What was our team starting last, like the forward? It was kind of like...
So we definitely had Bellingham on. We definitely had Saka on.
Bellingham, Saka.
I can't remember the left.
I remember Sterling wasn't in the squad. Was it Rashford wasn't a starter?
Was it Grealish? No,
Grealish
was a sub.
Mount, I know Mount was definitely in the team. Mason Mount was in the team. He started.
So it had to have been Rice and Mount then.
But wasn't Mount like number 10? Was he not like behind the striker? And like Saka was on the right.
I think maybe it was Bellingham and Rice then, and then Mount further ahead of them because Bellingham was.
So Mount, Rice, Bellingham. You're saying?
I think if you're saying Mount was definitely in
the team,
Bellingham scores, so I know he was there.
Bellingham, not Bellingham. Mount was definitely in the team. I remember we played the first game we won pretty easily.
Iran.
I think it was someone, and then we played Wales. Remember Rashford started that game, but he scored, so he played.
He scored a free kick.
Yeah, but in that game against America, I know Mount played, Saka played. I can't remember who else we had in that team.
Foden played. No, he played against Wales. He scored.
Yeah, so I guess Foden playing on the left is not the worst.
He's done it before. Like I'm saying, it's not like a concept team.
Yeah,
he's literally played on the left before.
And for Man City, it's not like he's.
Yeah, I've watched him do it again. Like, I remember they had it was the 2022 against Madrid. He was playing on the left.
And it's not like they're stuck in one. You're not going to be stuck in one position anyway. You're going to be everywhere.
And it'll be fluid. So that's why personally I'd say Rice and then maybe a Gallagher or a Hendo, whatever, someone with legs. Or like someone that's going to work hard, do the ugly stuff. And then from right to left, Saka, Bellingham, and then Foden. now I'm actually I can confidently say that's who I would pick.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably I would do.
England is such a hard team to pick, obviously, because everyone, you know what I mean? Like, as much as I'd love to put Palmer in there.
You can't. I don't think.
Like, you just can't.
I don't think, and it's not even like an experience thing. I just think,
he's just not as good as Saka.
No, I wouldn't say it's not even that.
On the right.
I just wouldn't say, for example, you just can't play, even if they were like, say, the 3 best players in the world. I just don't think you can play Palmer, Saka, and Foden, 3 left-footed players.
Yeah, that is weird.
Who are. It's just that there's no balance, kind of thing. You can't play essentially.
Yeah,
the
no,
same
I mean,
player 3
I'm
times.
also as well. On top of that, I think Bellingham just has to play.
Oh yeah, he's definitely playing.
He has to play.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I always worry about getting through the group, but we should be all right. And the thing is, you can actually, not that we should be aiming for that, but you can still finish third and get through the group. So.
Yeah, the Euros is weird, isn't it? How do they do that?
Yeah, because there's so many teams in it now. So it's like based on your goal difference or goals scored or head-to-head and stuff like that.
Yeah, because Portugal won it when they drew 3 games and came third in the group.
They came third in the... Yeah, I remember. I watched some of the games on holiday.
And they ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, it was good. I was glad they won it in the end. Obviously, I wanted England to win, but yeah, it's one of those things. It's going to be interesting. Did you watch any of UFC Brazil? 301.
I watched the main card. I watched the 5 fights.
It was good, isn't it?
Good fights, man.
It was good.
From bottom to top then, who started it off?
It was... Was it Michel Pereira?
Nah, he wasn't. He did not go first.
You sure it? On the main card? Oh, no, you're right. It was Paul Craig versus Caio Borralho.
Oh, it was Caio, yeah. Caio, good performance from him.
He's really good.
Man.
He's really good.
Yeah, he literally just... Their game plan was perfect because every time Paul Craig threw like a calf kick or whatever, he just jabbed him every time, and then Paul Craig got hit off balance every time.
Yeah.
And then in round 2, he stopped him. That was perfectly executed.
It was, yeah.
You could see the game plan. You could see Paul Craig his team had no answers for it.
Yeah, Caio's really good.
That guy's dangerous, man.
He's good. And Michel Pereira as well, what a beast.
Wasn't the sort of fourth, as in the second fight of the main card, was that not the...
Oh, it might have been Anthony Smith.
The young guy. Yeah, Anthony Smith against the young guy.
Oh, Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino.
Yeah, was it that one?
Yeah, Vitor Petrino.
Anthony Smith just showing the levels, I guess.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's funny. That's what he was saying before the fight. He was like, there's levels to this kind of thing. Because Petrino was calling out Anthony Smith for a while. And Anthony Smith was like, yeah, I'll fight him. He said, I know I'm better than him, kind of thing. Because a lot of people think that he's too old.
Yeah.
They say, oh, he's like down and out kind of thing. But he was like, no, I'm still good enough kind of thing. And I've always liked Anthony. And I have a bit of a soft spot for him because I listened to his podcast, him and Michael Bisping. And I was just confident that he was going to win. I know I should have put money on it because he was like 4-1 underdog. And he was like 14-1 to win by submission. I wonder what the odds were for him to win in submission round 1. That would have been insane. But it's funny because I bumped into Ben the next day because we went to Wembley to watch Bromley. He put £200 on Vitor Petrino to win. and he obviously got tapped out in 2 minutes.
Oh,
I know, it's crazy.
Man.
I know.
Silly, man.
I know, but you win some, you lose some. But then he won it back because he put £180 on Madrid to beat Bayern in 90 minutes, and they did.
Oh, yeah.
So he made his money back, basically. Yeah. But, yeah, and then the next fight...
was Michel.
Yeah, Michel Pereira against Iha Pretoria. Yeah, he looks really good.
A little bit fortunate with the
I thought that at first, but I think he hit the chest first and it just so happened to hit his thing. So I give him the benefit of the doubt.
But either way, I mean, to get him down in the first one, it's a good performance from Michel.
Yeah,
guy's a beast.
He is a beast.
Doesn't even look small in
No, he looks. To be honest, I was surprised that he made 170 in the first place.
He's one of those showman guys that are actually just really good.
He's really good.
Good for him.
I wonder who he's gonna fight next. Middleweight looks quite.
Don't really. Yeah, who's on the level that's really gonna show where he's at. You know.
Depends.
What I mean?
Well, now he's like number 13 in the rankings.
Middleweight.
Maybe who's like number 10 now?
Imagine if him and MVP. Wait.
MVP is the weight class below.
Oh, he's well weight, is he?
I think maybe it'd be like Marvin Vettori or Brendan Allen around that kind of.
Okay, yeah, that kind of level. I'd like.
Or Chris Curtis, it'd be like that kind of. That's like the top 10-ish
level,
around middleweight kind of thing. I think those two are actually 12 and 11. So that would be, because I think Pereira's 13 now, Caio Borralho is 14. I don't know who was 15. I think 15 might still be Paul Craig. So yeah, there's some good guys in that division. So. Yeah, I mean, and Jose Aldo, I was so happy that he won. I was quite nervous. That was like the only fight that I was nervous for.
Just outclassed.
I just wanted him to win, and yeah, he looked great.
He's ridiculous, Jose Aldo.
I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time. It's truly I think he's top top like. Definitely. Well, I would probably put him in my top 10. Yeah.
In terms of achievements, like, is this long list of win streaks and title defenses? I mean,
Yeah, I know. Obviously, he was in a different era as well, but he's still fighting now at the highest level.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And he's done it at like now he's down at 35, which is kind of unheard of. Guys usually go up.
That's what I mean. They go up as they get older, and he's going down.
He's going down, which kind of I've always thought, like if he actually fought at 35 when because there wasn't always the bantamweight division, because it used to be there was a company called the WEC. The UFC bought the WEC, and then before they merged the two companies together, when the WEC became part of the UFC, there was no bantamweight division.
Oh.
It was just 45. I think you still had 20.
There no flyweights?
There was flyweights. It was like 125. Then there was no 35ers. Then it was like 45 and above. So like the WEC, they had their own bantamweight division, like Dominic Cruz and those guys. Excuse me. And then when they merged it all together, then there was a 35 division. But now that when I think about it, like if he would have been double champ but that wasn't really a thing back then to be double champion kind of thing.
But he's got a perfect like profile, hasn't he? Just
and he's not like the biggest guy, and
he's just compact and he just does all the basics. He does all the basics right. Like
people don't realize like his takedown defense is so good. Like he's good everywhere. Like he's got like great boxing, great calf kicks, and he checks leg kicks better than I've never seen anybody check leg kicks better than him. And the thing is, I don't know how much you've seen a Jackson Martinez fight before, but he's got some of the best leg kicks. Lot. He's really good. Like he knocked out Adrian Yanez.
Made him look pretty ordinary, to be honest.
And the thing is, he's not ordinary. He's a very good. I know he's young. He's still got time to like get better, but he's a very good fighter. And I just think Aldo that was like a vintage Aldo performance kind of thing. It was great to see. And then the main event, Usyk. Did you watch that Usyk again?
Hold on, did we go over one or was that it?
No, because we did the Paul Craig fight.
Yeah.
Anthony Smith fight.
Yeah.
Michelle Pereira fight.
Yeah.
Aldo fight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Pantoja Usyk.
Main event. I really like Usyk. I don't know much. The guy's only been in UFC 1 year, so I don't know much about him. But
is this your first time seeing him fight?
Properly, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I've only seen like some highlights.
He fought like 2-3 months ago against Matt Schnell. He knocked him out.
Cool.
But he's really good. And he's only like 26. He's young.
I think Usyk, man, he like you could tell his strategy, like the plan that they came out with, really was the right one for Pantoja. Like, you manage the distance, use your like height against him. And
he's a better striker as well.
They were aware that Pantoja was going to go gung ho because that's what he's like, a brawler. You know what I mean? So they were aware.
He always starts. Yeah, and the thing is, Anthony Smith was saying this as well. What he was kind of doing in his fight, he said that when you fight in Brazil against Brazilians, he said because of the crowd and because they're at home, he said like the first 2-3 minutes in the first round, they go like guns blazing, and he said he was just kind of like keeping his distance and kind of thing.
Yeah, and he was making it look like that's a sort of not easy, like an easier thing to do basically. When someone actually coming at you and trying to take the fight to you, I imagine is a lot of not a lot on your heels, a lot of moving backwards and sideways, which is tiring. So I really think that like Usyk's I like fighters of that style where they're just very technical, and they almost make it look like fighting isn't that scary when it probably is. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I really like watching.
Great striker, great power.
Really just like a beautiful fight. The way he moves is so
He's
nice.
Good. I
personally, when I was watching it, because I didn't know the result, even though I watched it late, I gave him 2 rounds. But I remember when his corner said, "Oh, we need to finish it," and I was like, "Oh." But I personally gave him 2. So
I had it 2-2 going into the last round.
So it's a shame, really. I mean, maybe I don't know if he was misadvised or whatever, but maybe he was going for a finish when he
no, I just think he even said it in his post-fight speech. He just said he blew it in that last round. He sort of went for a takedown when he could have. He had him hurt, kind of thing. I think if he had like not tried to take him down and sort of tried to
keep picking him apart,
I think he would have won that fight.
But
because both of the. I mean, one judge gave it 49-46, which is insane, but the other 2 judges scored it 3 rounds to Pantoja, and I think if he had, they probably would have given him that 3rd round if he had won, that round. I think he would have won that fight, sort of thing.
But that was a good matchup. I'm sure they'll fight again one day.
Yeah, because to be honest, I'm a bit like, I don't know, I kind of just, not that I don't like them, but these kind of like, I feel like the UFC make these mistakes sometimes where they force, say like it was in Brazil, and obviously they try to, when it's in like a region or a country, they try to get as many, say Brazilians or whatever in that region, or even it's like, for example, St. Louis. It's in UFC's in St. Louis tomorrow.
Like Derek,
I fight.
No,
he's from Texas, but like, what's his name? Joaquin Buckley.
Oh yeah.
He's from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So and Woodson is also from St. Louis, so they'll always try and get local fighters to get the crowd going, kind of thing, which is good, which I think they should do. But sometimes I wish that it comes at a cost, because they can it makes the cards not as good, and it's like they're going there for the sake of it, kind of thing. So obviously 300 and 299 were like stacked, obviously, and they actually had like all the best Brazilians were on that. And like Pereira was at 300, Charles Oliveira was on 300, Figueiredo was on 300. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there was like one or two or more of these fights, they could have made 301 better, or they can at least do things like, instead of just putting just Brazilians on there, they could get like other fights that they will want to see. It doesn't have to have like every fight had a Brazilian.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I agree. I personally don't think every fight has to have someone from around there on it. I know, like,
it helps, obviously.
It helps, and I know, and I think it's good for the. I'm happy for the fighters as well, because obviously,
if you're local, it's easier.
Imagine if you're Brazilian, they do a card, and you're quite with someone of recognition, and then you're not even on the card, but you're from the country. You might think, oh well, I've been overlooked, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, I mean, I feel like cards would be a bit better. But personally, watching it, I was quite happy with the main card.
It was good, but I kind of felt like it was. I mean, it's alright for us in the UK, because if you pay for TNT Sport, you don't have to buy the pay-per-view. But you got to think, if you're an American, you've got to pay $80 to watch that. There's no way I would have paid $80 to watch that.
Oh, right.
Do you get? That's what I'm saying. It's not worth. That's like that for me. UFC 301, like as a pay-per-view, for me that was like a decent fight night. If that was tomorrow's card, I'd be like, oh, that's a decent fight night. That's fun to watch. But it wasn't like a pay-per-view worthy kind of thing. That's not worth $80. It just wasn't.
Probably not.
But I guess it kind
of... The crowd didn't look that busy, though.
Yeah, like there was empty seats. I think the prices went up. Like people, I feel like, it wasn't full kind of thing. It wasn't very, do you know what I mean? There was a lot of empty seats.
Really weird.
Yeah, which is just not good kind of thing. It's like, even with the UFC, they're coming to Manchester in July.
And they're going to do it at 3 a.m.
Which, the main card, the event actually starts at like 11, 12. But then the main card, the last fight will be at like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, which is insane.
When are we at like 5, 6 though, actually?
Well, it depends on how...
That's usually how it goes, though.
Well, it depends, because if the main card starts at 11, and if there's 13, 14 fights, it might finish at like 4 or 5 in the morning, which is insane. For me, I don't really see the point of them even doing it here. They might as well just do it in Vegas.
I feel like they're just coming here for the sake of it, like, here, damn, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Stupid.
But it doesn't make any sense, because they went to London last year, and they done it our time.
Exactly.
And the thing is, if you're an American, like, I'd rather watch it in the afternoon anyway. Just get it out of the way.
And it's like you said last time we was on the show, that there's other sports that Americans might be watching.
Like NFL or NBA.
Enough,
I mean, I don't know anything about, but yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird.
I think maybe, I don't know if the playoffs are on for the...
What, in July?
Oh, for the NBA.
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, I think playoffs are in June, aren't they? I could be wrong though.
I think because they're definitely coming towards the end of the season now, because like I think they know who's seeded for the things, but I don't know if it's on at the moment. So it's just annoying.
It's
even
annoying.
If there's other sport on, man, it's just annoying that literally it's not like it's like an inconvenience. It's just more again trying to maximise.
I think, and that's why I kind of think that, like, you know who I think has got it best? The Australians, because unlike the New Zealanders, because they're like 9 hours ahead of us, right? If we're finishing at like 4 in the morning to watch UFC most weekends, that means they're finishing at 1 in the afternoon on a Sunday, which means they could probably start watching at like 5, if they wanted to watch it from the very beginning, 5 in the morning.
No, wouldn't it be more like 7 a.m.?
Well, I mean, if you watch it from the beginning kind of thing.
Yeah.
But let's say you just watch the main card, you're probably watching it from, like you said, 7, 8 in the morning. How perfect is that? Like, that would be unbelievable.
It's beautiful, because that's kind of what I do anyway. Like, if I don't feel like staying up late and watching it, I get up in the morning on a Sunday, just don't look at my phone and just watch. So that's kind of like, imagine that, but it's live.
And you got to think as well, like UFC, what was the other one? UFC 300. That finished at like 6:45 our time, which means in Australia that finished at basically finished at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, in the afternoon, their time. And I watched the whole thing, which was exactly just about 7 hours. Which means if you watch every fight on that card, you would have started watching at finished watching at 4 in the afternoon, and started watching. Yeah, that's on a Sunday. Like, that's incredible. Because you got to think, if you watch football, let's say there's 3 games on a Sunday. They have like an early one sometimes. There's one at 12. There's one at like
it's out with the World
3.
when the World Cup was
Yeah,
on.
like that would be unbelievable.
That was unbelievable techers, yeah.
And I can't even remember, like, was there even any Aussies on the card? But the thing is, though, they do the same thing to the Australians, though, because when it was when they went to Perth, I think it was in Australia, when Volkanovski fought Islam, the fight finished at 6 a.m. and the card started at say 1 or 2 in the morning our time, which means if they're 9 hours ahead, so it started Sunday morning at 10, which is actually kind of cool because that'd be like going to sports to watch, like going to the O2. Imagine going to watch like the O2 in the morning at 10 o'clock in the morning to watch UFC. That'd be quite cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
But then I wonder how it affects the Aussie fighters fighting in the morning. Is that like a different thing?
I think they would have to, they'd have to train at the time that they fight.
But you probably do train in the morning, most fighters.
I feel like a lot of them...
10 in the morning, that's not that. That's like waking up and going to the gym.
I mean, yeah, if they train twice a day, like most of them probably do, then yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're...
But then the thing is, yeah, like, if anything, when they fight for, like, your normal Vegas fight, let's just say you live in America and then you'll go fight in Vegas, I imagine maybe on, like, a couple of weeks leading up to it or on fight week, then, yeah, they start doing, like, a few workouts at, like, 10 p.m.
Yeah, so they'll go... Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll go... Usually, fighters will say they'll get to, say... I don't know, say the next big UFC event is in Vegas. They'll go to America or what? They'll at least get to the country like a week and a half, 2 weeks before, so they can like acclimatise to the weather and to the time. Whereas like if you live in England, what are you gonna like? If you're Leon Edwards or Tom Aspinall, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go over to America to train to get used to their time zone and then come back? Because how are you gonna be? Especially if you're like the main event, which will probably be Leon Edwards. How are you going to get used to fighting at 4 in the morning?
Mate, you have to be angry as hell to fight at 4
a.m. It just messes up all your time. Like, I just don't understand how that's going to work.
I think that's almost the worst thing about it, because
if I was an English fighter fighting on this card, I'd be fuming, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's arguably the worst thing.
They have done it before.
The fact that it affects the fighters fighting at that time, because the thing is...
It affects the British fighters, though. Like, if you're an American, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, but I mean, either way... It affects the fighters, which affects the viewing, which affects us. So it affects everyone that who should be prioritized. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
It's stupid.
If you're an American fighter,
even the American fans, it's bad because
how is it bad for the American fans?
Because if the fighters can't get used to fighting at that weird time, it's gonna affect the viewing. Because if they're just tired, like it's
I don't know.
I don't.
Because that could be good. Because they could be for them. Because if you're just a neutral, you want to see. Like, it might lead to someone getting knocked out or finished. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're an American fighter, you're like thinking, well, I'm used to this time kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what's going to happen. But they have done that before. When they actually went to Manchester in 2016, they went to Manchester, or 2017, for Bisping versus Henderson. Mm-hmm. And they done it that same time at like 5 in the morning. So I don't know what's going to happen.
That's crazy though, man.
I can't wait for them to officially announce who's fighting who. They have announced some fights. So Arnold Allen's fighting Giga Chikadze.
Oh, I haven't seen Giga.
Yeah, he hasn't fought in over 2 years.
He got battered by Keita.
Yeah. That was a lot. He hasn't fought since then.
Really?
Yeah. That was 2.5 years ago, which is insane. Because
and at the time, he was like
the number one
guy.
Yeah, if he had won that fight, he would have been fighting Volk next, which is insane.
He was the hype guy.
And then, what else? They just announced yesterday Mokaev against Manel Cap. Do you know Manel Cap?
I don't know Manel. I only know Mokaev.
He's a Portuguese guy. Manel Cap.
Oh, the black guy.
Yes.
The slur guy.
Yeah, he's fighting. He's fighting Mokaev.
Oh, sick. Is Mokaev the guy with the chin strap?
Yeah,
like short hair.
He's from Dagestan, but he's from Manchester.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
did he have the thing with the leg where he extended his leg?
Yes, him.
Yeah, I remember. I've seen him fight.
He fought a few months ago.
I've seen him fight.
He's really good. He's undefeated, Dagestan, but he was like a refugee, so he moved to Wigan. So he's like he's a Wigan fan.
Oh right.
Yeah, so like he's from Manchester kind of thing.
Okay.
Mokaev is fighting. Probably going to be Leon Edwards against Bilal finally.
Oh,
and then
I want Leon to win that.
I want Bilal to win. No, sorry, I want Leon to win so badly.
So bad. I have no.
But if Bilal, like nobody wants Bilal to win. Like nobody wants Bilal to win.
I'm thinking, I have no reasons for Bilal to win. I might stick a bet on it.
It's going to be a hard fight.
What are his odds? I feel like they were quite even.
I think Leon will be like. I reckon Bilal will be under. I think the odds Bilal will probably be a 2-1 underdog, which is decent odds. I think that's quite good value, to be honest. I still expect Leon to win, It'll be kind of similar to like Colby's odds when he fought. That's what I think it would be.
Personally, I think that in terms of like game plan, how the fight will play out, I think that Leon will do. I think he's going to do well.
It's a rematch as well.
I think he's going to do well to like manage distance, avoid the takedown, because he's got good takedown defense.
He does, but Bilal's good. Bilal, I know he's not an exciting fighter, but he is very good. He is very, very good.
So I would bet on Leon to win.
I would think Leon would win, but it's going to be close.
Anyone can lose.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's fighting. So
and it's against a good fighter. It's not even just like it's against like a
Bilal's one of the best.
Yeah, he deserves to be there for 100%. The title. So
and then I hope Aspinall gets a fight. I would love him to fight Cyril Gane. That's the one I want to watch.
Word. Yeah. No, I want.
I don't know what's going on with Gane. Like, he's very weird. He's like, I don't want to fight unless it's for a title. But he's lost the title. He's lost 2 title shots now.
You gotta fight someone else, man.
And he won his last fight. He who did he fight?
No.
So okay, so he lost to Ngannou.
And then he lost to Jones.
But then he lost to Ngannou, loses to Jones. No, he lost to Ngannou, knocked out. No, I'm getting my timers mixed up.
You're getting Tuivasa one.
Yeah. He knocked out Tuivasa, then he lost to Jones. Yeah, and then he beat Romanov in Paris. I remember last summer I watched it. Yeah, but yeah, I want to see him fight Aspinall, and this will be the interim title.
And that would be such a good stylistic matchup. Yeah, because they're both big guys that move really well.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. I would love to see
that. Would be fun, and it's like, and it's great for Cyril Gane as well because England's only around the corner from France, from Paris. So that would be.
And I mean, that would be they put it on at the time that we want to see it.
It probably won't be, but yeah. That'll be really good. I'd love to see that, and then we just got to wait for Jones and Stipe, which I think will probably be in like November.
It's a long way, and I can see why he gets so much hate on Twitter.
I don't really see why everyone's so mad. At first, I was a bit like, to be honest, I don't hate it. It's not like Jones's fault, and it's not.
Well, no, it's not. I just think fans. I think it kind of stems from respect, like wanting to see him fight so bad that they're like, please fight, and they're kind of lashing out at him. That's why they hate him, because they want to see him fight. Yeah. And also as well, it's easy to love the guy who's like the moment at the time. As in, I'm not saying Aspinall is just hype for now. I'm sure he will have like a long-lasting career. But like John Jones, I've been reading all his tweets, and he basically just says, like everyone has a story. Everyone says that I'm ducking them. No matter who I fight, I'm ducking them. If I beat them, they have a story. If I don't fight, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I get that. I just think people are gonna back Aspinall because he's trying to give the people what they want, whereas Jones is trying to chase something a bit bigger. If that makes sense.
I think
I get people like hating on him.
I'm not saying he's ducking him, but then if I was John Jones, I'd be doing the exact same thing because it's like, why would I want to? Not saying that he would lose to Aspinall. I mean, he could lose to Aspinall. You got to think, Aspinall's a harder fight and less money. Stipe is an easier fight and it's a bigger legacy fight and it's more money. So it's like, that makes perfect sense.
If I was a guy who has achieved as much as John Jones in something, I think I'd get to a point where I'm not just going to do what people want me to do. I'm going to decide.
Well, he's never done that, yeah.
I'm going to decide what I think I want to do, and I'd want to beat the best heavyweight of all time, kind of thing.
And the thing is, the UFC are backing him because Dana agrees, the UFC agrees, kind of thing.
So I'd rather just.
If they really, really wanted to, they could be like, well, we're stripping the title from you. But they don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's better for them to have Jones as champion.
Yeah.
So if I was Aspinall, I would just either wait or just fight somebody else, which I think to be fair to Aspinall, he's kind of said, yeah, I'll fight someone. I'll fight. He said he'd happily fight Gane.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's why everyone seems to be taking Aspinall's side as well, because he wants to fight someone.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I think we'll get that Stipe fight soon. I mean, Stipe's been doing a lot of media. John Jones has been talking a lot, and he even said they've got a fight date. I reckon it will probably be like, if Aspinall's probably fighting in July, I think the Jones Stipe is probably in like October, November, I reckon.
It does feel like
but October's usually Abu Dhabi.
It does feel so far away.
That will fly by though. You've got to think we're in May now. That means Jones will probably be fighting about 6 months. 5-6 months.
That is long.
That's not that long. It's really not, because you've got to think if Aspinall's probably going to be fighting in July, and then if Jones is fighting in October, November, that's only 3-4 months later. It's not that bad.
Fair enough, yeah. I just want to see him because I really do like.
For guys like Aspinall or even heavyweights in general, they've got longer to wait. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to. They got more time in their career, kind of thing. So
yeah, because they tend to be older.
Yeah, so it's kind of a win-win as long as Aspinall wins his fight, And even if he doesn't win his fight, it's not actually all over kind of thing. Let's just say he lost the fight's gone and loses. It's not over because it might be over for him to fight John Jones, but
Oh, it's definitely not over for him to be the
champion.
Yeah, he's only 30 or 31.
Yeah, which is really young for a heavyweight kind of thing. You've got to
Yeah.
think Stipe's 40 now. Stipe's 40. Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
You're 40 years of age.
Exactly, yeah. So he's still going at the top level. I know he hasn't fought for 3 years, but
It's nuts, though.
Jones hadn't fought for 3 years when he beat Cyril Gane. So it kind of doesn't matter at heavyweight as much. You know what I mean? So I'm really looking forward to that. And it's just, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But the worst case thing for Tom Aspinall and the rest of the heavyweights would be if John Jones loses.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because if Jones loses, it means Stipe...
He's probably going to retire.
No, he wouldn't retire.
You don't think so?
No way. If he lost, he 100% rematch in Stipe.
No, Stipe might
Oh, no,
retire.
if Stipe won, he's no way he retires. Because he's now proved I'm good enough to beat John Jones and I can make another payday.
Oh.
If he loses that, he would retire, 100%. I mean, he even said, like, when the Jones fight was booked, because not even the Jones fight, when John Jones beat Cyril Gane, Stipe was in the crowd and obviously Jones called him out saying, I would love to fight Stipe. Stipe was saying, and this was last year, so that means it would have been 2 years since Stipe fought. He was even saying, listen, I wanted to rematch Ngannou, but it just didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's not wanted to fight as well. It's just he's just waiting for like the perfect opportunity.
Oh man, Ngannou leaving is one of the not worst things ever. Like, just I'm so sad about him. Like the amount of matchups. I wanted Ngannou versus Jones, man.
Oh man, or even Ngannou Aspinall would have been incredible.
Ah man, that's such a shame. Good for him. He's done all his, you know.
And he's gonna make money. I think he's done with boxing for now, but he'll make money. He's gonna make a lot of money
Like
in the PFL.
he's achieved so much and stuff, which is great for him. I'm happy for him because he came from nothing. I love a guy that's come from nothing. But
I know.
oh, it's so jarring. The matchups that he had in the UFC, it's just more of a selfish thing.
But no, to be fair, but at the time though, apart from the Jones one, which was the obvious one, no one was saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see him fight Aspinall." Nobody. I did want to see him fight Pavlovich though, because I knew about Pavlovich was more in the picture at the time, and he's like the closest thing to Ngannou. He was like the close. That's your phone. Did your phone charge?
Oh, not really.
Not really, yeah.
Not really.
But yeah, I would have loved to have seen Ngannou against Pavlovich. That would have been insane.
Yeah,
I still can't believe that Aspinall, the way he knocked out Pavlovich was insane.
Ngannou?
No.
Aspinall. Yeah, no, I didn't expect that.
Did you watch that fight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that, to be honest.
I was watching it live with Ben at like 4 or 5 in the morning. We were going, I was so nervous watching it, like, oh my God. But yeah, that was crazy. Have you been like following any like of the boxing at all?
Not really, no.
Not really. Are you gonna watch Fury next week?
Like I just kind of, I know how the Inoue fight went.
Yeah.
Didn't
I'm
watch
not
all of it.
I'm not like interested in that. But are you gonna watch the Tyson Fury next week?
Is it going to be on late?
No, it's in Saudi Arabia.
Then yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Usyk, yeah.
Usyk fight, yeah. Who do you think's gonna win?
Say again?
Who do you think's gonna win?
I've gone back and forth on this. When the matchup was first being made up, I was very much like, I think Fury will not easily do him, but I just think he'll outclock, like, you know, he'll win relatively convincingly.
Right.
But Usyk's very, I don't know, they're both amazing fighters. It's
yeah.
such a, not 50-50, I think it kind of, Fury edges it 55-45 or 60-40. I think having that much,
It's gonna be a good fight.
having that much size on your side is nice. Like, it's a nice advantage, but I feel like it's one of those ones where 6'9" is nuts. I mean, how tall is Usyk? 6'2"?
Yeah, he's not big. He's like 6'3" maybe.
6'3". I think when they're in there together, it's not gonna look like that big of a difference.
Yeah,
If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Do you know what's funny actually? Eddie Hearn was saying he kind of said the same thing to you. He was saying before he thought it was gonna be. He was convinced Usyk would win, probably a decision. Now he said a couple of days ago, I'm changing my mind. He thinks that it's gonna be Tyson Fury's gonna knock him out.
I have no idea. I wouldn't even bet on the fight because I don't want to be disappointed when it doesn't win. Like that fight.
Do you know what? I'm kind of just happy. Do you know what? Even though I love both fighters, I really want Fury to win so that we get to see him fight AJ.
True.
Imagine that at Wembley as well. What are you checking the odds?
I might, yeah.
Yeah, check. I would be interested to know what the odds are for Fury and Usyk. I could see somebody getting finished in this fight, you know. I kind of hope somebody does. I don't. The judges in boxing can be a bit.
With
funny.
boxing, I never really assume a finish is coming. To be honest, I mean, the majority of fights in general in combat or like go to decision. I know that's a stat, but
yeah, most fights in general, MMA or thingy, go to the scorecards, and you just never trust the scorecards. I think like that's why I'm always a bit.
So I'm always like, especially with boxing, where you know you're a lot more limited in what you're allowed to do, how to finish someone.
And also even though I think the scoring system in boxing is better, sometimes when a round is close, I actually have no idea who's won a round. It's very dubious. Like, it's very subjective to be like, well, who won that? I actually have no idea who won that fight. Yeah. You checking the odds?
Yeah, so my hat was being a bit funny. But let's see. So
I imagine Fury is the favourite, but I don't know what margin. Is it in decimals, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If I had to guess, I'm going to say, don't tell me yet, I'm going to say Fury is 1.63, Usyk is 2.88. So like, I reckon Usyk's just under 2-1. Just because, like you said, his size and everything.
Oh, mate, so I Googled it just because my Paddy Power wasn't loading, but it's loading up now. So what were your predictions?
I'm going to say Fury is about 1.62, Usyk's about 2.88.
Okay, let's see.
Is it in fractions, though?
No, it's in decimal.
What is it saying?
But I do not know how to use this app though. Sometimes of the box app, I've only got football.
Oh, so with this, you just type in Fury.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like Usyk, you've done it before.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyson Fury. Oh, it's actually completely even.
Oh, see what I mean?
So yeah, I have no idea then. But obviously, the bookies' odds are obviously they're not based on.
They're based on what people are betting on.
Yeah, and obviously they want you to bet on they want to make money, so they do it based on that kind of thing. How much money's coming in on the market kind of thing.
Cool.
Okay, so it's even. So basically, they've got it scored at anything can happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I reckon they'll make more money if, say, well, Fury is the favourite. Usually we want the favourite to lose. They'll make more money if Usyk wins, because more people will be betting on Fury 100%.
Yeah.
As it gets close to the fight, I think Fury will finish as a slight favourite, like 1.83 or something like that. But it's gonna be good. Boxing's dodgy. Do you know what's funny? I was watching. Have you seen The Gentleman?
Nah, I'm not watching it just because I've seen the movie. I don't really feel like
no,
watching the series.
No, it's not. It's not a continuation.
No, but as in, is it not based on the same sort of story?
It's similar, but it's not.
Alright, maybe I'll watch it.
You should watch it, yeah. Because there is a lot of boxing and stuff in it. It's quite good. It's good. Have you seen the film Snatch?
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously that's made by the same guy.
Oh.
Guy Ritchie obviously he made Snatch and The Gentleman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I love Snatch.
Yeah, Snatch is incredible. Like, and it's a lot of like, it's quite similar to that. Well, there's some parts in that that's similar to Snatch. Because obviously there's a lot of boxing and stuff, and
yeah, I
it's
love
interesting.
Snatch.
Yeah, I think it's such a good film. But it does show you how. I know it's obviously just a movie, but it does go to show you how sort of crooked and dodgy like boxing.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Especially back in the day, like when you have like those underground fights with like gypsies and stuff. Like obviously that's where Tyson Fury's that background is, and obviously they do a lot of. That's a big part of their culture, like the boxing kind of thing. So it is interesting, and they just love fighting more than anything. Have you actually watched the Tyson Fury Netflix series?
I watched I think maybe the first season.
There's only one.
Okay, well in that case, I watched like a third of it because I thought there was like 3 seasons. I watched probably like 3 or 4 episodes. How many episodes were there?
Maybe like 7.
I watched a decent amount of it then.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes.
Yeah, like fighting is just in their blood kind of thing. They're like really tough.
And the guy doesn't know what to do with himself when he's not fighting.
Oh, Tyson. Yeah. Yeah, it's just in their blood. Fighting is just like in their blood kind of thing.
That's like one of the main. I mean, aside from their natural ability to do it, that's like the main difference between him and Tommy. I feel like Tommy could actually go without fighting. Like as in.
Oh yeah, I don't think he needs to fight.
Like he could, he's not going to lose his mind if you tell him that for some reason he can't fight or whatever. He's got other things going on.
Yeah.
Whereas, even if Fury had like all the aura and like the ability to go and do these other jobs and stuff, other opportunities that Tommy has, which he probably does anyway because he's famous enough.
Yeah, he doesn't need to box.
I don't think Fury would do it. I think he would box. Like he would.
Oh no, I think he genuinely loves boxing.
Whereas I'm sure Fury likes it a lot, but I think that Fury's also happy to just. Sorry, Fury. Tommy's also happy to just like go about it if he has to.
I think no. To be honest, the impression I got from that documentary is that he really wants to box, but it's a bit of an not awkward situation. But for guys like him and say Jake Paul, who are like names, nobody's interested in watching them fight these guys. Like how boxing works is you fight guys that nobody's heard of.
And then you work your way up.
Like Jake fought a guy who used to be a boxer back in the day. He hasn't boxed in years. He was retired, but now he's like an Uber driver or something. Right, it's a guy called Ryan Borland.
Right.
And he's just kind of like nobody's interested in watching that fight because it's just like, what's the point kind of thing. But then people will criticize him for fighting like over the hill MMA, UFC fighters or like old boxers kind of thing. And so it's like you can't win. It's like, oh well, you won against an old man.
Yeah.
But then when you beat like a actual boxer
no
who's
one
not,
cares.
it's like, oh, no one cares. So it's just like, oh, who? Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't win kind of thing.
Yeah, like the model. I mean,
And I think Tommy Fury's in a similar position.
Yeah, and I think them fighting each other was like a good.
That was big, yeah.
Way to address.
But then like that KSI fight was not good kind of thing. Like he should have on paper looked better. Remember he fought.
Oh,
KSI?
Tommy. Yeah.
It was a bit like, well, you're meant to be a boxer who's been fighting his whole life. KSI's
I thought he
a
would
YouTuber.
have wiped the floor with him. Yeah.
And I actually think KSI won that fight.
Really?
Yeah, I do. It was close, but like neither of them did anything.
Bit of an annoying.
It was like
just KSI just.
Yeah, it was not a good fight. It was not a good fight. So, yeah, I don't know. And since then, that was in like October. I haven't heard anything about Tommy Fury fighting anybody.
That's what I mean. I don't think he loves the game. To be honest.
Are you gonna watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson?
Not live.
Okay.
If we have it like recorded.
Well, it's on Netflix. It's free.
Free.
It's on Netflix. It's free.
Well, like you just go on the app and it's just gonna be live.
It's gonna be live. They're gonna be live streaming it.
So the day after I wake up then and just.
I'm definitely gonna.
Do you reckon you can watch it on catch up then?
Yeah, of course you can.
Cool.
I'm definitely watching that.
I'm not watching it live.
And they've even got like some good fights on the card because they've got rematch
Serrano,
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano.
Ooh, now that's a proper fight.
That's the actual and it's in AT&T Stadium, which is like a proper like football stadium, like an NFL stadium. It's like 60,000 people.
Is it like a 4 a.m. thing?
I'm imagining so because it's in Texas, I think. So
I'll get up.
It's either Texas or California, so it will be late.
I'll watch it without knowing the result, but boy, I wish I could watch that Katie Taylor Serrano live.
I'm definitely watching it live.
I'm not doing it, but still.
I'm not sure when the fight. I think it's in July. I can't remember when it is, but I will 100% be watching that. The first fight was so good, and I just think
it was. Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens in that Mike Tyson fight. I have no idea.
I have no idea as well. I have no idea like how fit is Mike Tyson. He's been smoking weed every day for like years.
I don't think the weed really makes a difference. I think it does. It's more like he's an old man.
Yeah, but like I think it's like your lungs.
Loads of fighters smoke weed all the time. Look at Nate.
Yeah, but also not being combined with being old.
Yeah, but like I don't.
I know O'Malley smokes and
the Diaz brothers,
but. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think the smoking has it. I think it's more. He's an old man. Like he's still got the power. Like you don't lose the power, and he's obviously a better boxer than Jake Paul. But what I'm thinking about is, he might not be able to take a shot very well. Like if he gets hit once, and it's not like Jake Paul's a small guy. Like he's obviously Mike Tyson's. I guess obviously
Does
Jake.
he have to cut weight.
Who?
Tyson.
No, it's a heavyweight fight.
Oh.
But I don't know how much Mike Tyson weighs. He probably weighs like 200. I don't know, but he looks in good shape. I reckon he's probably going to be about 2. In his prime, he wasn't. He's only 5'10".
Yeah.
And most heavyweights are like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And he was fighting. His weight when he was fighting was like 210, 220.
Oh.
And all the other guys were like way bigger than him. So I don't know, but because I think he could knock him. I think Mike Tyson could knock out Jake Paul.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like I definitely.
And it's only 2-minute rounds.
To be honest, I don't think there's like anyone that could take a full-on shot by Mike Tyson and not.
No, you could.
As in, I don't think anyone's getting immune. Like it is immune to getting knocked out by him.
Oh yeah, he can still knock people out.
Like if you put him in the ring with anyone, let's just say, I mean, in a fight, anyone can hit you, right? Which means if you do get caught, I still think he's capable of knocking out any big guy.
The last thing to lose you as a fighter is your power.
Yeah, so I don't think Jake would be able to just chin like Tyson's biggest shot.
But that's true. But he doesn't have the speed.
He doesn't have the speed but I still think
he's still quick, but he's not like. What I mean speed defensively, because what I'm worried about is Jake Paul might weather the storm the first 2 rounds. I feel like Mike Tyson needs to knock him out in the first 2 rounds, and then after that, it's.
I don't know Mike Tyson's record too well. Like
he's 50 wins, 6 losses.
No, I know that as in win-wise, but I mean, how many of his fights would go beyond sort of 2-3 rounds?
Hardly any. He's had 56 fights. I think like none of them. I mean, some like obviously when he fought the elite guys like Frank Bruno, which he knocked him out twice, that maybe got to like the 5th or 6th round. But even the guys that later on in his career when he was fighting, all of his fights to a certain point were just world championship fights. some of them did go longer, but most of his fights were like round 1, round 2, round. Do you know, he was just knocking people out. So it's just like, yeah.
I just also, and that's another thing to affect, like that kind of comes into it, is how hard is he gonna try? Like,
I think he's gonna try as hard as he can.
I mean, this seems so much like a collaboration. Like he likes, obviously, Kim and Jake clearly are, cool with each other.
Yeah.
How hard is he gonna try?
I think he's gonna try.
He's gonna try and kill him.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Why would he not?
I don't know, I think it's a bit of a collaboration. I think there's a business, like the things like when you make a sign of thing where if you knock someone out, you're obviously shortening their career, or one of those like clauses or whatever. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna go for I don't think he's gonna be bloodlusty.
Who Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you know about anything about Mike Tyson.
Do you think he'll do it?
Yes.
I mean, also like the reason why
he's like the scariest man that's ever lived.
Yeah, I know. No, I know that. But the reason why I'm skeptical is because he's going to the media and saying, "Oh, I'm terrified of Jake." Like I'm pretty sure.
I think that's a bit tongue in cheek, to be honest.
I think him saying that, I don't know. To me, it seems like they're collaborating.
So you think it's a work, basically?
Partly.
Do you think it's fake? Do you think it's going to be staged? Like some people think he's going to take a dive.
I don't think he's take a dive. No, I think they'll go in there and fight, whatever. But like, I don't know. Why the hell again, maybe there's press conferences I haven't seen from him. But like, did he ever go to the media and say, "I'm terrified of this guy"?
Well, he said things like, "I hate fighting. It's the loneliest place in the world."
Yeah. But did he ever specifically point out a guy and say, "Oh, I'm"?
I mean, I can't tell you that, but I mean, exactly.
I don't think he did.
But he, some of the things that he's come out with is just like, and like even in like recent times, like I remember there was a video a couple of years ago. He was on a plane. This guy's pranking him,
and he punches him.
And he's like, he wakes up and he just goes crazy. He goes ballistic, kind of thing. Like that's a scary man. Like
he's a scary guy.
He's a scary guy, and if I know he's not the same guy in his prime, but Mike Tyson is just an animal. Like he's an animal.
He is. I just wonder if.
I genuinely think he's going in there to rip Jake Paul's head off. I'm not saying he will, but I think he's going to try his absolute best.
I hope so, because I have a feeling that he's not going to try his best.
Basically. I would love him to though. I would love him to just knock him out. And I like Jake Paul. But
I feel like he's going to almost go in there and spar him, personally.
I don't think so. I think he's going to go in there and try and knock him out.
I'd love to see it.
But I don't think. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Jake Paul's the favourite.
Yeah.
But it's not much in it. There's not much in it.
And I personally don't think, the odds-wise, whatever, I personally don't think there's as much in it in general. Like, objectively, to be honest.
The thing is,
I think Jake can
we actually
win.
won't know until it's over, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's the fight.
I would love it to.
I don't think anyone's going to predict that to the round or whatever. I just think...
Some people will.
As in, I don't think it's going to be a thing. Like certain fights. Say, if you say... what's the fight?
I think it's 10 rounds.
Okay, cool.
But it's a professional bout, so it will actually go on their records.
Okay, cool. But when you look at certain fights, for example, I'm trying to think of one. Any sort of matchup that would have happened recently. Let's just say Armin against Oliveira, right? You literally bet on Armin decision.
Yeah, but nobody thought it was going to go the distance.
I did as well.
Okay.
So that's me and you together both thought that, right?
I know, but like
I don't
think
there's
going
to be like a collection of people that guess exactly what happens in the fight. I just think that's a hard one.
I think it's Jake Paul's going to win a decision.
I don't think anyone's going to make I don't think anyone can make it calculated like this. I know this much about fighting. I think this will happen. I think even the absolute experts, like the media, like the journalists, don't know what's going to happen personally.
Yeah, no one knows. That's just one of those things. I mean, I would love Jake Paul Mike Tyson to knock out like for one round or something. That'd be crazy.
I would literally they touch gloves and he just kills him from there.
Yeah.
He does one.
And by the way, I don't have an agenda. I love Jake Paul.
I don't mind him at all.
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's good. I think he's entertaining.
He's quite fun. Yeah, he's an entertainer. But I would love Mike Tyson to just knock him out.
It would be
if he did one of those 3-second flurries that you post online and it actually just works and they would land.
It would be funny as well because a lot of people that think it's all fake and he doesn't really knocked him out and be like, well, then they could sort of say, oh, well, it's not fake anymore.
I'd like to get proved in that sense because I'm a bit skeptical. To be honest,
I'm a little bit skeptical, not about that, but more about should he be fighting, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it might be bad. Like, imagine he gets hit in the head, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
he gets just donked.
Well, what if he accidentally gets hit in the back of the head as well?
Something like exactly. Because 57 years old. I know he's Mike Tyson, but how well can you take a shot when you're 57 and you haven't really been fighting for 20 years?
When's the last time you think he's been punched in his head? You know what I mean?
Well, he had a fight with Roy Jones Jr. in 2020, but that was kind of like an exhibition. two old guys that weren't going too hard.
Yeah.
I can't tell you when Mike Tyson's last professional bout was. Probably maybe 2004, 2005. But he wasn't in his prime then, so I actually have no idea. And even then, he would have been like 37, 35. So I couldn't tell you when his last, the prime of his career was in like 30 years ago. And I actually saw something today. I think Jake said he's bulking up. He's like bulking up to like he's gonna be big. He's definitely gonna be really big.
And he's quite tall.
Yeah, but he's not like the most muscular kind of thing.
I feel like he's not ripped.
I don't think he should really get too big, to be honest. I'd rather want to stay like 200 pounds and just go from there.
I feel like if he were to get too big, he would be a bit slow. And I think one of Jake's strength is like when he throws combos, he's able to be quite, sharp.
And it's not like Jake's he's a good athlete, but he's not like he's.
I think Logan is definitely more the natural athlete out of the two.
Yeah, but I reckon
he's on steroids. Yeah.
He's on all the juice.
But either way, even before that, I still think Logan is naturally more athletic.
Yeah, he's more. Yeah, but he's on like all the Mexican supplements. Like he's on everything.
Yeah.
And also as well, but Logan's not. I don't think Logan's a very good. I'm not saying that.
No,
Jake
Logan. I know.
Jake's way better. It's
more talking about just their genetics and their
I agree.
Athleticism.
I agree.
I mean, I don't think Logan has any talent in fighting, to be honest.
No, he's not very.
An athlete.
He's a very good athlete. But I think Jake's a good athlete. I'm just saying. I think Jake's got a lot of power though. He has got a lot of power. Whereas I think Logan. I know he's not like he's had an illustrious boxing career, but he hasn't got I feel like he's got no power.
Yeah, no, I think
not no power, but
being good at boxing. Yeah,
Jake's at least knocks people out.
Yeah, he hits hard. I don't think Logan does really, to be honest, for a guy that size.
Yeah, I think I know with power you can't teach power.
Yeah,
you either got it or you don't.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley doesn't look like a guy with power, but he has loads of it.
You know, it's the same in football as well, because not everyone's got power striking a ball, and I don't think you can learn that.
Yeah, I just think
you're just born. Some people just have got that sort of whip and that power.
Yeah.
And some people don't. I don't know what it is, but you're just.
I know what you mean, because I've played with a bunch of players that some of them the way they just strike a ball, everything is clean. Like Gerard, for example. I remember I think it was the guy from we ain't got much time. The guy from the F2, Billy Wingrove. He did a video with Gerard. Basically, two football YouTubers. One of them. He said, I did a video of you, someone asked him, who's the best striker of all you've seen? He'd done a video of Gerard, and he said, everything this guy does is so accurate, so pinpoint.
Yeah.
I think Gerard's just
he's got natural power, yeah.
So.
He's got that. Some people just have got that power.
They've just got it, yeah.
Even Ronaldo's another one. He just has it in his legs.
Players a player that doesn't have it, for example, would be like Sterling. You always feel
I was going to say that. Even the technique as well. He's obviously very good, but he can't.
Doesn't quite strike.
It's not the same. Yeah. I don't know what it is. You can't teach that. We've got 10 seconds left. It's been Off the Cuff with me and my brother Jay. We'll be back next week, maybe with another guest. We'll see you then. It's been 2 hours of fun.
Thank you.
We can't wait. We'll see you next Friday. Bye. See ya.